Good evening, everyone. We are coming to you live this evening. We're live on our Facebook and YouTube channels. This evening, we're going to speak about the transport sector pending shutdown come Monday. We have the opposition spokesperson on transport, Mr. Michael Phillips, in line. We have Mr. Lorraine Finnegan, Mr. Clark, and owner and bus operator Bruce Miller. We're going to speak about what can be done for a ticket amnesty, and based on what the chairman of the, is it the chairman or the president of the Island Traffic Authority is saying, that if you don't pay it up, you don't spend Christmas and New Year's behind bars. Now I have Mr. Phillips here with us. Mr. Lorraine, Mr. Finnegan, and Mr. Clark, you're the one who is organizing this thing here. I am just the moderator and assisting this. So I'm asking you all to unmute your mic for me and speak to what is going on within the sector. Mr. Finnegan and Mr. Clark, go ahead for me, please.
Am I on, Jeffrey?
Yes, we're live now. So, and we have Mr. Michael Phillips, your special guest waiting. So you all go ahead for me, please.
All right. A pleasant night to you, opposition spokesperson and transportation, Mr. Michael Phillips.
Yes, he's hearing you. Go ahead.
All right. And thank you very much, Mr. Tavares, to hosting us tonight, and a pleasant night to the rest of the members of the panel. Apparently, what has happened over the last couple of days is that there have been a number of discussions in regards to getting an amnesty, because there has become a fear within the public transportation sector from our operators and investors. But the fear become more grave when the person in charge of the Island Traffic Authority, Mr. Kenwood here, make a statement, which in my estimate, it was a threatening statement on the sector. And that put the fear more in our operators and investors. In our operators, in the sense that they have a number of outstanding tickets. And in the fear that was driven in the investors, if the threat by Mr. Kenwood was to materialize, then they wouldn't be having any drivers to drive their buses and taxis, because we have now gotten fearful that these personnel would be spending any time after the 1st of December behind bars. And so we have lost faith and we have lost trust in the leadership of all the other transportation sector across the island. And so, and when I say transportation sector, sorry, the transport associations across the island, we have lost trust and faith in them. And so some operators came together last week and decided that they are going to be putting a group together to now make representation on behalf of themselves and to some extent the general transportation sector of Jamaica, which would have include those that are in PPV and those that are in commercial carriers. And this is how the One Voice group was born. And then we start the process of looking at a number of issues affecting the sector. And when we put them on the list of priority, the one that is called amnesty came up first. And so we met in Kingston, just a few of us, put the planning in place, and within the better part of 72 hours, we are now attracting 800 members across the 14 parishes of Jamaica. And we have decided to withdraw our service effective Monday, the 14th of November at 4 a.m. And we will continue that protest until our demands are met, until we hear from the powers that be And so we have attracted the people in this sector from the 14 parishes. And what we have done, members of the panel, is that we have put in place, not in the 14 parishes, but we have gone 9 parishes already, where we put in place zone managers, zone coordinators, and zone supervisors. And these zones personnel will be coordinating their location. On Monday, when the protests begin, we will be having a central location in Kingston where we will be, and there will be a temporary secretariat of which we will be collecting reports from the 14 parishes every 20 minutes. Just want to let the panel know that this has been a very well organized withdrawal of service to the extent that we have personnel from all across the island, and the momentum is growing by the minute. And that is my opening remarks for now.
Mr. Finnegan, I don't know if you have heard what the goodly gentleman from the Island Traffic Authority said. But before we go any further, the opposition spokesperson is all the way in Manchester in his constituency, and he has to drive back into Kingston anytime soon. So I think we should have him come on and say something pertaining to this. Then we're going to have Mr. Bruce Miller and Sir Clark to come on. Or do you want them to come on, then opposition spokesperson, Mr. Finnegan?
I would prefer we hear from him because, in spite
Yes.
of the fact that he is driving his personal vehicle, we wouldn't like him to be caught in any um, protest because my members in the One Voice group are adamant to start tomorrow. I am
Yes,
trying to hold straight.
Tomorrow Sunday or
Yes,
Monday.
man. So we love to have him now so he can get back into Kingston tonight.
Yeah, because
Well,
we don't want Warmington to come and anyway, Jeffrey, behave yourself this evening.
Yeah,
Opposition
please do.
spokesperson
Please
and
behave
transport.
yourselves, sir.
It's all over to you, sir.
good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Minister.
I'm actually fortunately not heading back into Kingston tonight, but
Okay.
probably on Monday because my constituency it is very important for me to remain in my constituency. But outside of just the ticketing, there are a lot of concerns from the opposition side that have to do with transport. We have to do with the whole aspect of just roads, the condition of our roads. The aspect I've said it on many occasions. Just the whole situation with the transport authority, how it is that it deals with public transportation. The whole aspect of how government itself look at public transportation. I keep reminding the powers that be that public transport and just transport overall contributes to about 40% of the country's GDP, and that we have not really treated transport in the way that it ought to be treated. We ought to treat it, one, as a business. Two, we need to treat it with the importance that it plays to the economy itself. And I have not felt that we really treat it in a way that it ought to be. On the issue of why am I there, man?
The opposition spokesman is speaking to somebody in his constituency. As we said, he's in his constituency, so we have to bear with him. Go ahead, Sir Philip.
Yeah, man. On the whole issue of the concern, on the immediate concern about the, yeah, man. If you don't get me, just send me a message.
Remember, you're live on air, sir.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But the issue of the ticket amnesty, One of the things that I've said to the government when we had the debate on the whole aspect of the new Transport Authority Act and the Road Traffic Act is that there needs to be a public education on that. Outside of having a public education, yes, you know, I have to say that the government itself, and I mean the authorities that have authority over the Road Traffic Act needs to come out front. It can't be that you have now implemented it without talking to the citizens. Because if you are to look at some of the fines in the new road safety or the new act itself, it is very draconian. Eh? I want, for one, believe, and the opposition believe that putting up fees to a point that it becomes draconian will not solve the problem of what we're facing out on the road. Right? Now, if there should be an amnesty, yes, I think there ought to be an amnesty because of how the act itself has been crafted. There ought to be an amnesty going into the new act itself. Those who have not taken up that amnesty then ought to be prosecuted in the way that they need to be prosecuted. Ought to be prosecuted in the way that they need to be prosecuted. In the way that they need to be prosecuted in dealing with the new act itself, right? Now, we believe that the authorities themselves, I'm not sure where it is that the managing director of the Island Traffic Authority is coming from, if this is a government policy or is it a policy from the Island Traffic Authority itself. Now, if it is a government policy, then the minister himself needs to come forward and say this is a policy from the government itself. It cannot be, because even though the Island Traffic Authority has some say over the ticketing system, I don't think that the general manager or managing director of the Island Traffic Authority has the authority or the say to be able to make the statement that he made.
So hold on for me, Mr. Phillips. You're saying to us now that, are you hearing me clearly?
I'm hearing you.
You're saying to us now that the goodly gentleman, when he went out and made such utterance, he should have never made such utterance, then, sir?
Well, it is a policy decision. That would be a policy decision by the ministry. The minister himself would have to be the one that would have made that policy decision. If it is that the minister himself had made that decision from the ministry standpoint, then it ought to be said by the managing director or executive director, whatever you call him, that in itself is a decision from the cabinet and the government of Jamaica. You understand?
Yes.
Yes. We have not heard from the minister himself. Eh?
No.
No. As I said, that the opposition feels that there ought to be an amnesty going down into we now bringing the new regulations into being. So you're basically asking people, let us start at zero. Eh? Who has not taken it up? That is on them, not on the authorities. Right? But that has to be a decision made by the cabinet, but not by an executive director of an agency.
So in other words, Mr. Phillips, not your words, Jeffrey Tavares word and make we talk word. In other words, the goodly gentleman made a blunder then.
I would say that he did. Yes.
Is it that he's trying to bully ride the transport sector by saying if you don't do so, because he become judge, jury, and executioner?
Well, you know, even though I said that he did make a blunder, he himself would not be wrong because the government has given him that authority in the act itself to say that the act, or unless he's saying that the act is coming into being at this time. And the truth be told is that the act has been passed for months now. We expected that aspect of the act itself would have come into being. It is a blunder. It has been a weakness in the government. And let me say this with all sincerity, and I said it to the Prime Minister recently, is that the government has not taken the aspect of transportation, public or transportation overall, has not taken it seriously and treated it as a business as they ought to. Yeah? As I said earlier, transportation contributes 40% of the GDP of the country. If you treat it as a secondary issue, then we're going to suffer. Sir Bruce, I am, and Sir Marcel, I understand the frustration. As I said, I believe the opposition believes that there ought to be an amnesty before before us bringing the act into being, but there needs to be some communication from the government itself. I can say that we don't support demonstration, but we support the voice of the people. Yeah? And I feel that we have not heard from the voice of the people adequately enough that the government or the powers that be feel the power, that the people are in charge and not us as government that is in charge.
But I'm gonna make Bruce Miller comes in. Dennis, you there? I'm gonna make Bruce Miller comes in. But I have to say this, Sir Phillips. For far too long, successful government has taken the transport sector and members of the transport organization in this country for this nilly-willy. They do not, in other words, the word I want to use, I don't want to say I'm being disrespectful to you, sir, or to the government. But to me, I personally think that the only thing they think about is JUTC. They don't think about the other poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers. Because if it wasn't for them, if it was for the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, some of our people wouldn't go anywhere, Mr. Phillips. And until the government or governments, past and present and to come, understand that the transport sector play a vital role in the running of this country. I don't want to sound like a politician tonight because I'm not one. I may have a name of a one, but I'm not one. So, Mr. Phillips, you're saying that you don't support the demonstration. But to me, Mr. Phillips, that's the only way Jamaicans can get the authority who is governing us, who are the servant of the people of the country, to understand. Listen to me. We put you there. Come on now, listen to us.
Come on, Sir Tavares. You hear what I said? Anytime you see people demonstrate, I mean, them don't feel that they have gotten justice for their crime. I say, for me to say that a demonstration should take place, school children can't go to school, would be responsible of me. Eh? But
Yeah, that's true.
I want to believe that the voice of the people ought to be heard. Eh? So let me say this, and I might get a flack for it. I support demonstration, but in a way that there are certain set of people that we ought not to create where there are certain people can't get to one, their production, their productivity, their jobs, or school children not being able to go to school. You see this thing of blocking roads and thing, I can't support that. You understand?
Yes, I
But
understand.
people ought to have their voices heard. I don't have a problem with that. I said at a function today that there are half of Jamaica eh, who don't see what is right about Jamaica. And that half don't think that their voices should be heard in improving Jamaica. But them try to pull down Jamaica. But when your government is not listening to those who are better for Jamaica, I have no problem in people having their voices heard. I don't.
All right. Please don't go anywhere, Sir Phillips. I'm gonna have Bruce Miller and Sir Clark, the great grandson of Paul Bogle, who led a rebellion in Morant Bay.
Yes,
So come on,
yes.
Sir Miller, go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good
Yes,
evening, my brother. Good evening.
yeah, man. Mr. Phillips, I will call you my neighbor tonight, you know?
All right, my brother.
Yeah, man. And to the rest of personnel on the panel. All right. First of all, we're asking for an amnesty. And we have to, you know, we have to look now deep on some of the issues. It is a fact that there are some major glitches in the system. And when I say glitches, meaning that you will have persons that would have paid traffic tickets, and then these tickets will come back up on the system as unpaid. So now, the issue now is, and this is a very serious issue, there is one, we have a member who said that he had in excess of 100 paid tickets. And when checks were made, those tickets came back up. The problem is now that you will have persons that don't practice proper records keeping. Because, I mean, unfortunately, you will have persons like that. So when the head of the Island Traffic Authority is going to come up now and say, come the 1st of December, and persons with unpaid tickets will spend their time. They spend Christmas in jail.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody who is in the system, you know, how I look at that now, you will have persons that go and go jail, not because them never pay them tickets enough. Persons go and go jail because of improper records keeping. Because if it is unfortunate that that person now will pay the ticket and because them never practice proper record keeping and can say, well, I paid, they might just go jail, but not because they never paid the ticket, but because of improper records keeping. And you see, because of that, I think that the government should give the sector or give the public the benefit of the doubt and exercise some sort of compromise. And you can't have persons like Mr. Canute here coming out with those reckless statements. As a matter of fact, what I am glad for, and I mean, I will say this and I don't care. Anybody who wants to get a forward or a hype or a promotion, all them have to do is come out and pressure the public, the public transport sector. But unfortunately, it wasn't so this time around for Mr. Here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I would ask you, I would say that before taking Mr. Here seriously, that you ask for the minister if this is a policy of the government of Jamaica. Because Mr. Here represents the government. Yeah. You know, the thing is, as I said earlier, is that if it is that the promulgation of the act itself is going to come into being, then the government has to say so or say something. Because we have been waiting. The act has been passed for quite a number of months, you know. Eh? But it is now that they have to now say that, look, government general has signed off. It is going now to be promulgated. It is going to now come into being. But we have asked for them. And I said to them that we don't need to wait until it has been promulgated, that there is public education done on the act. But start doing it now. That once it's promulgated, but the announcement by Mr. Here, who is my very good friend, the announcement by my Mr. Here, for me, is premature because that needs to be indicated if it is the policy of the government of Jamaica moving forward. Do you understand? So I would suggest to you that you ask if this is, ask the minister, make your public announcement. Is this the announcement of the government of Jamaica outside of what is Mr. Here saying? Because I find that a little bit odd, and I'm sure that many persons in the sector have found it a little bit odd that Mr. Here made this announcement and not knowing if this is going to be the policy going forward.
But Sir Phillips, if it's not the policy of the government of Jamaica, why is it the Minister of Transportation don't come out and say something, or the technocrats come out and say something? Before you answer that, sir, let me do something here, do some housekeeping here. It is now 7:33. You're listening to Make We Talk, a special edition. If you want to call in to talk about what is going on within your sector in the sense of your tickets and so forth, it's only WhatsApp call only. 876-782-8235. That's the number to call in. WhatsApp call only. 876-872-8235. 876-782-8235. That's 876-782-8235. Go ahead, Sir Phillips.
Yeah. Well, the minister was supposed to be in Mexico this week. Truth be told, and I said it to the Prime Minister myself, in a personal conversation, is that I don't believe that his administration is taking this issue of public transportation or transportation seriously. We have had we have had 3 ministers in the last 6 years. And each minister, as we go along, has gotten worse. I don't think Minister Ardishaw has any serious concern where it comes to transportation. And the importance of transportation to the country's development, the government have to think seriously who it is that they place there and how it is that we deal with transport and public transport. And I don't get the feeling that they are dealing with it in a way that there is importance in the sector itself.
Sir Clark, unmute your mic for me. Sir Clark, the great great grandson of Paul Bogle. You gonna lead a rebellion tonight, sir?
Good night, Jeffrey. Good night, Shadow Minister Phillips.
Good
Um,
night, my brother.
Bruce,
Are you
Philippine.
near a fan, sir? Are you traveling Highway 2000?
Yeah, man, Highway St. Thomas, Bumpy Road.
Okay. The breeze is coming in, having a feedback in the mic here.
Yeah, I fixed that. Okay. Um, Sir Phillips, thanks for the short notice for responding and coming on. I really appreciate it. I was a bit worried yesterday going into late last night with a pending shutdown of the other persons of the sector. And you know what I'm excited about is this new initiative that the persons have taken on just this week, just Monday, and they have grown to over 800 persons. Maybe the major jump was probably Thursday evening to last night to today. And it tells me that this sector has not been represented with good with any form of quality or the interest of the sector at heart and not personal gain. I am excited that I see persons uniting because since I've been involved with this sector intimately the last 3 years or so or more. It's the first I've seen such a unity amongst different association members, different roads, different parishes. And I know see a light at the end of the tunnel. But there's a few questions I just want to put to you, Sir Phillips. Is it your view that the transport sector could redeem an essential service?
Yes. The transport sector ought to be treated as an essential service. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that answer because I've never seen one minister in all my interactions or just going about my regular business. I've seen any minister treated the sector in that light. They've always treated in a manner where they talk down to or just give them something to cool them. That's the approach I'm getting. I am saying to you tonight, sir, if ever the chance come for you to be the minister in that seat, I hope you don't adopt that approach. I hope you take an approach as how you see them as an essential service, sir.
Yeah, man.
My other question to you, you may have answered it, but I want a direct answer tonight. Do you support a traffic ticket amnesty? If yes, why? And if no, why?
The answer is yes. At first I had said that I would not have
Sorry, Sir
supported.
Philip. Sorry, Sir Phillips, can
Yeah,
you
man.
speak a little bit louder for me, sir? I can hardly hear you.
All right. No, man. So my answer is yes. I support an amnesty. Reason being is that I think that because of the new road traffic act itself, and how it is that it will treat the sector itself, I think that there ought to be an amnesty starting, allowing persons to basically start from a starting point itself. Eh? But I
Okay.
just want to I want to touch on a point that you have made. That is the first time that you have seen the sector somewhat coming together. And I have to say to you that one of the weaknesses of the sector itself is that is a lack of that coming together. I said that the sector itself is more political than political parties and churches. And because of that, they have not been able to get the unison amongst the members in the sector to be able to get the benefits from government or the lobby as one group for some of the weaknesses in the sector and the weaknesses of government policy. Um, you know, so I'm happy to see that the group is coming together, and I think that this should be a start. And I hope that you take this as a start of what it is. Because I always say, no, persons come down on me and say, boy, they're not hearing from me and everything. But I said that the voice of the people is greater than any politician at all.
That is so true, sir. If you were Minister of Transport, what would you do to address the whole issue of traffic tickets?
In this instance, and let us use this instance now. We have a new Road Traffic Act coming into being. We have a new Transport Authority Act coming into being. I would propose, just as they are now proposing with the new Firearm Act, they are proposing an amnesty for persons to bring in illegal firearm. I would propose an amnesty for traffic tickets, right? For persons to be able to redeem, persons to be able to, so that we're starting the whole thing at zero, basically. You would have to give a time because it can't be one that is indefinite, but you have to give persons a chance to regularize themselves. If they have not, then the full length of the law would have to come down on them. But seeing that you have a new Road Traffic Act coming into being, I would support an amnesty for the traffic tickets at this time.
Thank you. All right. So are you aware that there are major issues with the ticket payment system and record keeping?
Let me say this, and it's just my experience over the last few months of government. I think that the government itself, even though using its own agencies or departments within the Ministry of Technology to deal with its own payment systems, its own record keeping, has been inadequate. And I come back to the whole issue of the various different proposal by the government, different grants being given, the 25,000 for the gas grants. Let's use the COVID grants. And I said in Parliament recently, if it is that you have 37,000, nearly 40,000 registered taxi or operators that are licensed, and only in the instance of the COVID grant, less than 40% actually got any benefit. As in the words of the Minister of Finance, only 7,000 have applied for the grant itself. But by the indications that I've gotten, only 2,000 have actually received anything. Then there is actually a problem in the software, in the application that the government is using, that has not really been to the benefit of the users of it. So the short answer to your question, I think there's an issue with the system itself, and it is the government has taken this hard-handed approach that, look, our system is perfect, but persons are not actually using it. And I think it is wrong because it has been proven that the system is flawed. So yes, I think that the government needs to relook at their system and decide how it is that they're going to have persons be compliant.
All right, Sir Phillips.
Hold on while for me, Sir Clark. The people have been asking for the number. If you wish to call in to the Make We Talk special edition of Talking Transport, you can call 876-782-8235. If you wishes to call in, to speak about tickets that you're getting and other things, you can call 876-782-8235, WhatsApp call only. That's 876-782-8235. Go ahead.
Yes, Sir Phillips. What I have discovered for a couple of years, I keep hearing persons complain about that they were arrested and the ticket was already paid for. In this new initiative with over 800 persons, quite a number of them expressing themselves that they already paid these tickets. I looked at a printout of a gentleman and I see something. What's the term again, Jeffrey? We saw.
Let I find it. Continue talking. I'll find it. Just continue
He was
talking.
at something like it's not attempt to, but the gist of it was to obstruct traffic. What was the term again?
Hold on, just continue talking. I'll find
but it's not in the Traffic Act. That's how some of the tickets are written with terminology that does not exist in the Traffic Act.
The failure to comply with traffic signs or something like that?
No,
No, hold on there. I find it now. Hold a minute. It says oh Lord, where it is again. Let me zoom up this thing here. I may have on the spectacle. I'm not young as Sir Michael Phillips, you know, I'm getting old. Where it is again. Parking in a manner likely to obstruct traffic.
Yeah.
Is that a part of the Road Traffic Act? I'm trying to get through to Diane Dennis for her to come on and explain more to us. Sir Phillips, are you there?
I'm here.
Are you aware of such law within the Road Traffic Act, sir? Parking in a manner likely to obstruct traffic?
I can't tell you. I would have to relook at the act itself. But I mean, just as a Jamaican itself, I mean, if anybody parks in a manner to obstruct traffic, I don't think that you nor I or anyone would object to them being in a position to be prosecuted. You know, the problem that I have with the public transport sector itself, and a provision like that in the act itself, is that government itself ought to, and I think there is a disconnect between the Ministry of Transport, the Municipal Council, and the Transport Authority. So let us use rural Jamaica or even in Kingston, the KMTR, Spanish Town for an example. The Municipal Council is in charge of the terminus itself, the taxi stand. So they collect. They are not concerned about how many persons can be facilitated. The transport authority say, all right, persons coming from X point need to park out on right at the gas station there. But then when it overflows into an area, because they have issued the license and it has overflowed in an area, they say, well, them send out them officers and say, but we never say over there, so you know. Them say over that point there, so then prosecute you. And I've been saying from day one that the municipal council ought not to have any responsibility because it's only a profit-making center for them. But if the Transport Authority and the Ministry of Transport needs dealing with transportation, needs to have some authority over the issue of where termination points are in providing adequate space and facilities for the transport sector itself, and not able to prosecute man because they never park in a designated area when you have not provided that space for him to park. So we have to look at the whole of the data. But the thing is that, you know, government seem to deal with its issues in silos and not deal with in a way that that benefit the sector itself. And one of the disappointments for me, as I've said before, is that the sector itself has been so fragmented that
I think he moved from where he was.
We have lost oh, he's coming back on. I think we're losing the signal of Michael Phillips, you know.
Sir Phillips, you moved from where you are?
We are losing the signal of Michael Phillips. Sir Phillips, go ahead, sir.
No,
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
am here, but you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Like, yeah, you have lost the signal. We have to not get Elon Musk to come in that we can have better signal. Go ahead, sir.
Boy, I am in deep rural Northwest Manchester.
Okay.
So I have about 10 more minutes with you. But
No problem. Go ahead,
no,
sir.
the point I was making is that the fragmentation of government's policy in dealing with the public transport sector in itself, that aspect of the law, I think any decent Jamaican would want to ensure that anybody who obstruct the general traffic would be prosecuted. And I'm saying where it comes to the public transport sector, where you have the municipal council that provides parking locations for the transport sector, but their issue is really a money-making issue. It is really a profit-making center, but not an issue of if we are providing adequate parking facilities. Then you have the transport authority who has regulation over the transport sector. You have Ministry of Transport who has policy, policy and governance over the transport sector itself. But they are not working in unison. And it is my firm belief, it's the opposition's firm belief, that we need to take that aspect from the municipal council, bring it to an authority within the Ministry of Transport in providing proper and adequate parking facilities, not only for the transport sector, but a proper facility for those users of the transport sector itself. That would treat them in a way that is humane. You understand?
Yes,
and
sir.
not just a profit-making center for the municipal council itself. I think there's a disconnect in how it is that, because when the transport authority said to a certain set of man, one transport center can't hold you, so park out in front of Mr. Bean shop. And then when it can't hold the amount of license that they are provided, and the additional man them now have to go to another location, and you prosecute him because him not at Mr. Bean shop. But you have not provided enough spaces for them.
All right, Sir Phillips.
Hold on for me, Mr. Clark. Prime example, Mr. Phillips. The old housing ministry in Halfway Tree. I've been asking for that. I've been talking about that. We had a meeting with you and opposition spokesperson and the opposition leader. Go ahead, Sir Clark.
Yes, Sir Phillips. Based on the time constraints, the matter of tickets again. I have an issue with the amount of tickets sometimes one officer gives a driver in a particular stop. I remember a case some years ago, the man drive out of the bus park and stop cross the road at the gas station. And the policeman gave him a book and a half a ticket. I was at court the day.
Sir Clark, sorry to butt in. We have a call online. You want to take the call and then you go back to Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, go ahead.
Caller, go ahead.
Good night, everybody. Michaela, how are you?
I am giving thanks.
Hello? You're giving thanks. I'm glad to hear. This is Dan Dennis.
I'm hearing.
My question. Yes.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
My question, Michaela, you know my question, I'm troubling already. My biggest question is that I have a pet peeve. When when Mr. Housen took that matter to court about the illegality of the traffic fines that were then imposed, and that motion was moved in Parliament. What I don't understand to date and would like to have explained to me by the executive body or somebody, whether the judiciary or somebody, how is it that those fines were placed under the Financial Collection of Taxes Act to begin with in the first instance? Wrong act. They were done by the wrong minister. And then what was it? It was 2006 to 2007. And we did a motion in 2021. So many years later, we do a quick fix and we do a quick amendment to the Road Traffic Act to incorporate those fines. My question is, how is it that that motion makes those fines legal when they were never legal to begin with in the first instance? It's not like they were legal fines and they were just out in limbo. They were not legal fines because they were placed under the right act and they were not done by the right minister. Because it was not an action of Parliament, and outside of the Parliament, only the minister could have done that, the Minister of Transport. But that wasn't done by the Minister of Transport, it was done by the Minister of Finance. All right? Another thing that I see happening is that I see police officers now currently using fines from the 2018 Act to give the e-tickets, that's the electronic tickets, to motorists. So we are perpetuating a system, and this is one of the problems that the court administration office has, why everybody's playing catch up. Because what you are having, we are having what is called a lot of spoiled tickets. And I think when we talk about the number of tickets that a motorist has, I think we need to balance the argument. Because a lot of times, for any one traffic stop, and I'm going to give you an example. Any one traffic stop, say a bus makes a stop at R3 NCB back to pick up a passenger. All right, he's stopped by a traffic cop. First charge is that he's picking up a passenger without a designated bus stop. The Road Traffic Act says you can pick up and set down as long along the thoroughfare as long as it is safe to do so. For that one infringement that the police going to say, all right, it wasn't safe where you're picking him up, blah, 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 cheap as you end up getting 5-6 tickets. Because he's going to give him a ticket for obstructing traffic. He's going to give him a ticket for endangering the life of the passengers. And the list goes on. So for that one stop, a driver racks up 5, 6, 7 tickets. And then now, on top of that, those fines that are being printed on the e-ticket, they are not a part of the current Road Traffic Act. And I think everybody's just being disingenuous about the whole thing. And it's not that the motorists them don't want to pay the PPP operators, but some of them do have a challenge and a difficulty in paying, and them can't go to court because going to court, when they do the maths, you waste the whole day. And it don't work out for $800 fine as it was back then. Now it's $5,000 and $2,005.
All right, so Diane, sorry to butt in. We have another call coming in. Can you allow Mickey to just answer the call?
Yes,
answer the question?
All right.
And I'll call you back, Diane.
Yeah, no problem. I listen on YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And my phone is about to die too. I'm on 3%.
Yes,
but let me just say this. Successive governments have really used the road traffic as a revenue center. I think that, and I would go back to the sector itself that has been not united in itself to be able to carry its point together, no matter which government is in power. has been one of the weaknesses on why it is that government take advantage of the sector itself. Right? The act that he has spoken about on why it is that the Minister of Finance, I think there's a what should I say now? The Ministry of Finance is in charge of certain revenues, while the policy is really the Ministry of Finance. And I think that is where the mix-up is. Because revenue, even though the legislation is tabled by the Ministry of Finance, by the Ministry of Transport, the revenue is actually collected by the Ministry of Finance. So I think that is where it may come up where the Ministry of Finance is the one that carries certain arguments where those legislations are concerned. But let me just end by saying that there has to be some unity amongst.
Hello, Sir Phillips.
Yes. We're
Sir
losing
Phillips?
Sir Clark. We're losing Mr. Phillips because he's traveling also too. So we're losing him. If he's still hearing us, you can say a few words, Mr. Phillips. If not, we have to go back to Sir Bruce Miller, who I know have something else to say, and Mr. Finnegan.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have lost Mr. Phillips. Sir Miller?
You can allow Mr. Finnegan to go ahead to take the mic.
Okay. Sir Finnegan, go ahead, sir. In case you're just joining us, this is a special edition of Make We Talk. We're speaking about the pending shutdown of the transport sector come Monday morning. We're speaking to opposition spokesperson on transport, Michael Phillips, bus operator and owner, Bruce Miller, Lorraine Finnegan, the great-great-grandson of Paul Bogle, who led a rebellion. He's also the chairman of the St. Thomas Crime Prevention Unit, Sir Clark. Mr. Finnegan, go ahead, sir.
Am I on?
Yes, sir. You're live on air, sir. Go ahead.
All right. I wanted to also put this in before this opposition spokesperson leave, but just for our audience sake, within the amnesty that we are asking for a 60 days window of opportunity to pay the fines that we as motorists have incurred. We are asking that during the amnesty period, when we go to make the payment, that no demerit points be taken from our license. We are also asking that the fees, the fine that is on the outstanding ticket be not increased when we go to pay them. In other words, they remain the same. And we are asking that throughout the days of the period of the amnesty, that the police do not prosecute us or have us arrested for those outstanding tickets. Not talking about any new offense that might be committed. And we are saying to the government in our request that the fact that a new traffic act will be in place come early next year, we are asking the government of Jamaica to allow us as citizens and as operators and investors within the transportation sector, whether it is PPV or commercial, to give us an opportunity to pay to the government what we owe them by offensives we may have committed directly or indirectly, and give us a chance to have a clean slate going into the new Traffic Act. So on the one voice list of requests in the amnesty, the 5 things that I've just mentioned are what we are asking for. And when I state in number 5, that the tickets might have been given directly or indirectly are the tickets that we are referring to that we have gotten between 2005 and 2021. and Dennis was just alluring to them. And also those tickets that have been paid and is still on the system at Ellington Road. One recent example, we have a very prominent investor in the sector. He paid a fine in July of this year for a ticket he received. Very elderly person. And he happened to be in the Ellington Road areas a couple of weeks ago. And he said something just jogged his mind to go and check on his license, only to realize that the ticket he paid in July is still on the system as an outstanding ticket.
Mr. Finnegan, hold a while for me, please. Mr. Williams from the One Voice Committee is saying that they can't get in. I don't understand what they mean they can't get in. There's a number on the platform that you can call also. If you can't get into the Zoom, which I know the Zoom is working fine, call 876-782-8235. 876-782-8235. Call that number, you can get in. The Zoom link that was sent out to you with Mr. Clark and Mr. Finnegan, the Zoom is working fine. Go ahead,
Mr. Tavares, 1 second.
Yes.
Somebody was trying to get in and it said it's flagging them and saying something. So they're not getting in on the Zoom.
Why is flagging them and saying something?
I Miss Dennis told me was saying some flag something came up on it, and so it's blocking them. So I don't understand it. So something is flagging them, they can't get on. So
Continue.
all right. So Finnegan, but Mr. Finnegan, I just wonder, I heard you said something, and my understanding that you were asking for 6 months amnesty. I heard you said something about 60 days. Which one is this?
Sir, my apologies. 6 months. Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, Mr. Finnegan.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Finnegan, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Mr. Finnegan, are you hearing us?
Yeah, am I on?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're live. Go on.
Yeah, let me apologize to our YouTube listeners. It is not 60 days, it is 6 months. So my apology, my mistake. So I was saying that the gentleman that paid the ticket in July, he now luckily he have his receipt. So the receipt is now in the hand of the lawyer. Now it is going to cost him legal fee and days in court to have that rectified. So I mentioned about the tickets that would have been given indirectly in those circumstances. The question I'm asking to the panel now, do you think that these 5 requests that we have been making to the government are unreasonable?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Not at all, Sir Finnegan.
All right. The other, just before you come in, Sir Bruce, the other thing that I wanted was to put across to Mr. Phillips, I don't know if he's listening on YouTube, is that he has emphasized repeatedly that if the amnesty is given, any one of the operators or investors with outstanding ticket do not make use of the amnesty, they should face the full blunt of the law. Well, I am agreeing with him and just want to say on this program that the One Voice organization is not just about amnesty, because as we speak, we have put in 2 plans in place to help our members with the paying of those tickets if the amnesty is granted. So let's say the amnesty is granted 12 o'clock on Tuesday, by 1 minute after 12. Those 2 plans will go into high gear immediately. And the way how it is set up, I can't give the detail now, but it has been set up in a way that minimum of 50 operators on a daily basis who would have received some funds from that plan and can go ahead and pay their tickets. Now, we are not just asking for the amnesty, and if it is granted, we leave our operators there as a one voice group. We will be following up them with their payment. We'll be following them up with the level of indiscipline and discipline on the road. And we have been imploring them to operate in the confine of the law. The final thing before I go, Mr. Host, is Mr. Phillips was also concerned about the demonstration. I want to assure the public on the platform that we have running going 2 days now, every 45 minutes, a post is made asking our members to withdraw their service within the confine of the law. We have asked that no road, no thoroughfare be blocked. We are very serious on it to the extent that the managers over in Portmore, they have identified a massive piece of open lot that they have earmarked to park their vehicle come Monday morning. So we are very serious in the behavioral pattern throughout the days of the withdrawal of service. No blocking of road, no cutting down of trees, no burning of tires, and do not stop anyone from going about their lawful business. This morning, a message was being sent out that the One Voice group is bringing war to the government. We want to make it abundantly clear. We are not bringing war to the government of Jamaica. We have no reason to bring war to the government of Jamaica. We are not personnel within any army across the world to be warring with the government of Jamaica.
But
What
Mr.
we are doing,
Mr. Finnegan, sorry to butt in. You know, it's some unscrupulous people who spreading such propaganda. It's some unscrupulous people spreading some propaganda. We're here to fight on the behalf of the taxi men and women. We're not here to feather. We're not here to feather our own nest. We're
that's
not here
what
to
the
feather our
one
own nest. We're here to fight
that,
for the poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers. Go ahead, sir.
that is what the One Voice group is all about. One member posted today and said he has never heard a group speaking about we and us. They have always hear about me and I. And that send a message to me that this is a breath of fresh air the One Voice organization is bringing to the sector, where we are in it looking out for each other. I have made it abundantly clear today and yesterday, and it will continue into Monday. We at the executive level take instruction from the membership of the One Voice group. We don't take instruction from no association, no other organization, no individual.
Before
The One Voice group take instruction from the executive. In other words, the organization start by the people, for the people, and will be managed by the people. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Before Mr. Clark or Mr. Miller come in, I'm asking Diane Dennis to give me back a call because there is some question here that I know she can answer because she's well abreast with the new Road Traffic Act. And I wouldn't mind if she could call back in because somebody's asking a question here that is only Diane could answer this question. Why is it? Why are we getting tickets for the Road Traffic Act before it is put in place? And that's the only question we can ask Ms. Dennis to elaborate more on that. If the Road Traffic Act is in place now, should members of the public be getting ticket for that? Go ahead, gentlemen. Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir. Well, basically, my concern was the tickets that members would have paid for, they would resurface, and that would be an indication that the system is flawed And it would be unfair for the government to declare, would take the stand of saying that they're going, they will be clamping down on persons with unpaid tickets. You know, I think there should be a compromise also alongside the amnesty, because a lot of innocent people going to be locked up, and that would be grossly unfair.
Yes. I have with me Diane Dennis, who helped to formulate, I think, the new road traffic act. Miss Dennis, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. I hope everybody's hearing you loud and clear. There's a question in the chat room pertaining to, do you have any idea if members of the public are getting tickets for the new road traffic act? Is the new road traffic act now in circulation? Or should it for next year?
Well, the Road Traffic Act is not yet operable, and but what they are trying to do is to activate some aspects of the act. But I know that there are presently fines that are, or tickets that are being issued by the police. Those fines are not under this present. Those fines and charges are not under the current act. They are under the 2018 act, which is not yet operable. Well, for me, what I think, one of the things we could do, while it's all well and good, you're asking for an amnesty. But I think in all fairness, because of the various issues that exist with the ticketing system and the fact that for so many years, motorists, and in particular the PPV operators who get who would have gotten thousands of these illegal tickets. I think the government needs to do the honorable thing and just suck it up and wipe the slate clean. Give these people a fighting chance. Because mark you, when those fines came about to fulfill an IMF obligation in 2006. 2007, February, they should have been stopped used. They shouldn't even have been used in the first instance because they were placed under by the wrong minister. But all right, that was done, and the IMF target was met. Those traffic fines should have been discontinued. What happened was that the police was still issuing tickets and was issuing tickets right up until when Mr. Housen took the matter before the court and the judge gave the injunction. So what I'm saying is that
before you go there, Diane Dennis, there's another question for you.
Yeah, brother.
Can you, Mr. Finnegan, remember you're live on air, sir. We have to be careful what we say on air here. The question is this, Diane. One seatbelt ticket is for $500. Yet the government collect $2,500.
It was. What happened, remember that particular seatbelt, the seatbelt ticketing, some of those fines were the fines that were placed under the Financial Collection of Taxes Act by the Minister of Finance back then. What happened is that the fines were still being used. Those fees were still being charged to motorists even after the period had passed. The fines were imposed for a particular period. And even after the period had passed, the police was still issuing tickets using those fines. All of those tickets would have been illegal. And when the judge imposed that injunction on the police at the time when Mr. Housen matter was placed before the court, it's because the judge recognized the illegality of the thing.
Of course.
she recognized the illegality of what it was, and so she said, let me nip it in the bud right here and now. And when our goodly former minister, Bobby Montague, moved that motion to place those fines under the current act, that is where the injustice was further perpetuated, because that ought not to be allowed. The fines were illegal in the first instance and ought to have been totally discarded. Totally discarded. And this is something that needs to be challenged. And if the motorists would, if the PPV operators would change their focus for a minute and put the spotlight on this particular issue, I better them get the amnesty. They don't have to withdraw the service, you know. Just call every radio station starting tomorrow morning and mention this and see how fast them grab the amnesty, because they know it's wrong.
But you know something, Diane? I am giving out this number for members of the transport sector to call in.
They're not calling in.
And nobody calling in.
They are not calling in. They
But what they do
on the platform, sit down like girls and complain.
There you go, because all they do, you know.
Look at the few members who are participating.
There you go.
They are not calling in. They're not helping themselves. And if they would take up their phones tomorrow morning, they are withdrawing their services on Monday morning. Spend the time bombarding the airwaves, talking about the illegality of those tickets, which is what they have accumulated. Those tickets that they have accumulated that come to 500 and 900 and 1,000 is the illegal tickets. So tell the government to sort it up.
Because same way.
Because that motion,
Go ahead, Diane, go ahead.
what I'm saying, that motion that was passed cannot make something illegal legal just like that.
In other words, Diane, in other words, the former Minister of Transport may have committed some human rights breach there in a sense.
And not just him. It's not him, you can't blame him enough. I remember the motion was taken to Parliament and voted.
Right, the entire Parliament then.
He just moved the motion. He just took the motion before the House. But what I'm saying is that who are the people advising our ministers? Where is the judiciary in all of this? Why is the judiciary so silent on matters like these? We need to hear, we need to know.
You know something, Diane? What we fail to understand, Diane Dennis. What we fail to understand, Diane Dennis, is because the judiciary may be quiet because the transport sector is quiet. Members of the transport sector and presidents of the transport sector are not speaking out. Many of them are there under the feather of the damnness. And here's a prime opportunity.
He knows not.
Members, here's a prime opportunity now, Diane Dennis, for members of the transport sector to call in.
Exactly.
And none of them calling in.
Bombard the airwaves with that particular question.
Yes, Sir Clark, go ahead, ask Diane the question.
Diane, I was speaking to a government employee today, and he pointed out two things to me. He says they will never repeal the gas tax because last year they collected $67 billion.
$billion, yes.
Not million, no, billion.
Billion, yes, I know it's billions.
Right?
Billion,
What was the intent of the gas tax? To do what? To fix roads.
roads.
Right.
Fix
and they're
roads
saying
and necessary infrastructure.
Right. Right. They said last year they didn't have any money to do infrastructure and road repairs or road work. They said the same thing this year, but yet the Prime Minister is seeking to collect $60 billion. Where the money go? Consolidated fund. To do what? Balance the budget. But the money, the gas tax money is intended for road repair and infrastructure. That is an illegal act. Somebody needs to challenge that. The ticketing system.
Remember, if you really want to stir the ansness, remember that a cabinet shuffle came about because of misuse of the consolidated funds.
Right. Right.
Remember, a cabinet shuffle under this present regime some years ago when they first took power happened because of misuse of the consolidated funds.
Mhm.
You see, all of these things are happening, because we just sit back and we just murmur like the children of Israel. But we're not doing anything to help ourselves.
The other thing the
As I said,
gentleman
we need to
pointed out today.
be, as a sector, we are too reactive. We
Right.
need to be proactive. Nobody's going to be doing it for us. And we just need to call a spade a spade. Yes, what we need to learn to do is to be bold enough to speak our truth and shame the devil.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
But Diane and Sir Clark, people may say this, and I am saying it, not people. Jeffrey Tavares is saying it, that members of the transport sector will not get the help that they seek. One of the reasons why they not get the help that they seek, the chat within themselves, as what Diane said on WhatsApp group and whatever. The Make We Talk program is open to everybody. And I've been saying this for far too long, and nobody calling. Prime example tonight. You have Michael Phillips on. We give out the number, nobody calling. You have Diane Dennis on now who can answer questions and see how far we can go. Nobody calling in.
But Jeffrey, Mr. Phillips said that, the problem that he has with the sector is not united. They're not voicing as a body.
Well, yes, he has always expressed that because Michael feels like John the Baptist sometimes. He's just a lone voice out there speaking. When Michael, as the opposition spokesperson, attack a matter, say even for argument's sake, the matter of the amnesty, what you should be hearing is the sector calling in and supporting what he's saying. But everybody just sit back and want Michael to achieve the impossible. He's in opposition. He can speak out. When the sector joins him and lends their voice to what he's saying, then things will happen. But you want him as opposition leader to speak for you and to achieve for you. It's not so it works.
Diane, he also alluded to the political loyalty. He spoke about it early. But
but people need to understand. Marcel, I keep saying it and I've been saying it from time immemorial. If these transport investors are unable to differentiate their business from their politics, then they are doomed. Politics and your business don't mix this oil and water.
Exactly.
But the funniest thing, Diane Dennis and Marcel Clark and Lorraine Finnegan, you believe that members of the People's National Party are the Labour Party. If they have their business, you believe that politics come involved in business?
No.
Politics not involved.
So this is what we're trying to say to the public transport sector investors. The time has come for you all to stop the PNP and JLP bangarang and speak for yourself. You cannot sit down and murmur amongst yourselves. Come out on the radio and speak.
What people need to understand is that when you speak out about failures of government, you're not talking about people on an individual level. You're talking about the government as an institution. All right? So it's not as if it's a personal attack on anybody. What we are saying is that these are the people elected, and as such, they are the persons accountable. All right, so they are the ones who are supposed to provide the answers for us. But if we don't demand those answers, then those answers will never be forthcoming. So we have to be proactive. Start asking the hard questions. The questions are there. Start asking the questions that will make them squirm. Every day we ask for a press conference. A press conference is subject to editorial license. If the editor don't see anything in meriting where you say nah, carry it. He's not carrying it. You understand? Because at the end of the day, controversy sells the news. If you were to start calling and bombarding the airwaves to say, okay, all of these fines that we accumulated, didn't the government agree when the judge gave that injunction that these fines were illegal? So why are we now being forced to pay these illegal tickets?
But not only that, Diane and Marcel Clark. Not only that, you know, do you think that people, that members of the transport sector listen to the news? I'm not being disrespectful, you know. Because majority of them don't listen to the news to know that somebody had filed an injunction, had put this thing to court, and the judge filed an injunction against it.
Some do. And we had a debate on it on the tax platform. Some do listen to the news. But what I'm saying is that we fail to recognize our rights as individual citizens. It is not a favor that we're asking of our politicians. Our politicians are supposed to be the servant of the people. If you don't see yourself as a servant, don't put yourself up to be elected. Because you are answerable to the people who elect you. That's what government means. But we see it the other way around, where we're supposed to be running behind the politicians, begging a bribe and begging a favor. That is not supposed to happen. That's not why they were placed there. They were placed there to put systems and plans in place and policies in place to make things better. How many years we have been clamoring as a sector and asking for a national transport policy? There isn't one. How can you want to say you want a transport system that mirrors that of Switzerland? I don't have a national transport plan. Where is the plan? Where is the plan? There is no plan in place.
And not only that, you know, Diane. Not only that, you know, Diane. I have been talking on my radio program from a long time ago that they need a proper parking facility in Halfway Tree. And then the way the old housing ministry is, in the heart of Halfway Tree, right across from Mothers, where somebody give one of their cronies or their friend to put their car out there. And I've been speaking about it, and nobody called the station and say, no, Mr. Tavares, is true. But all they do, they talk about it in their group, or they say, boy, you know, police up there, so, or police down there, so. And the problem still lies within them. They do not call in.
Because they are not utilizing the channels that are available to get public support. What the sector fails to realize is that you need public support. If an insurance company is going to strike, our department is an insurance company is going to strike, when the customer turns up and hear the reason for the strike, the customer is supposed to say, all right, me understand. Me come back tomorrow. If the customer is going to stay there and argue, then it means that you have done something wrong or you are doing something wrong, because you need that customer support in order for whatever action it is that you are taking to be effective. And it's the same way the sector needs to understand that anything that they are doing, they need the public support. They carry the public. The public must wake up tomorrow morning in agreement and solidarity with any action that you are taking. How is the public going to do that? You have to be the one to make the public aware of your plight.
True.
You can't be expecting somebody else to do it for you. You have to do it. Sitting in a WhatsApp group not going to help you, because nobody not hear you.
Ms. Dennis.
So that is, go ahead.
Yeah, two things I want to say. I've been involved in the local, well, that's a local, I mean Jamaica, transport sector on and off since 2004. I never operated a taxi or a bus, but I've been, well, 2001, been somewhat in the system in and out, assisting here and there. And, you know, it's just this week, I really realized that the sector have a powerful voice just this week. And I was led to believe that certain people or certain organizations was the face and the voice for the sector. And it's when I see two man just throw something man from Monday and the level it reach today, I realize how powerful this sector is. And that is why we are here talking now, so that there will be an amnesty announced Tuesday. Me have to say that first. You understand me?
So it's going to be announced Tuesday.
Well, I heard it from a platform that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Security and
No. Listen to me.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Said that they're going to meet at Cabinet Monday and then announce Tuesday in Parliament. That's what is being put out there. I don't know how true.
And the Prime Minister told you that. Look here, we wrote the Prime Minister as an organization on a matter from 2018 when we were clamoring for fair increase. The Prime Minister has neither acknowledged the letter nor responded. And then the letter that him get again is going to treat it just the same way because the Prime Minister has shown total disdain for the sector. And one of the things that I am, I talk politics, what people vex when me talk. When the JLP was in opposition, they put all of the complaints that we had as a sector in their manifesto. What have they done about all of those things with them putting on their manifesto so they're going to do to help
They
us?
gone like Sammy Mouth. And you have some people.
And we don't complain.
And you have some people.
In their manifesto.
You have some people, Diane, because they want to look popularity. Then come and pay a damn lie about Prime Minister and Minister call them. There's absolutely no way the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security can make a decision that there will be amnesty come Tuesday. It has to go through the entire cabinet.
But that's what I'm saying. How is the Prime Minister going to tell you that yes, this is going to happen and it has not been discussed with this cabinet? So the Prime Minister is a one-man done.
Now what they said is that the Minister of Transport called and said that. So I'm just telling you what was said.
The Minister of Transport called and said that.
So all of a sudden the Minister of Transport called. When their friend Canute here, hold on Diane.
Why never go public with it?
When Canute, hold on Diane. When Canute here or Canute, what you want name? Decided to become judge and jury. Why did the Minister of Transport come out and say, no, you're not speaking on behalf of the government of Jamaica. Stop it. But all of a sudden, the minister not call and said, no, stop on the damn lying. On the lie to the sector too much.
Dan, while you're still on the line, I want to put something to you because based on your affiliation with the New Road Traffic Act, because I understand you're a part of some committee or something. Right. I have an issue. A policeman stops a driver, say for running a stop sign, right? And him give him him ask him papers and give him a ticket for the stop sign, and give him a ticket for uniform, for badge, and then give him a ticket for more persons are contrary to route, whatever. And the list goes on and on. So the man might end up with 5, 10, or 15 tickets. Is that legal?
Some aspects of it, no. There are some charges. If the police is conducting a routine stop and search, then there are certain things that the police can ask of you as a motorist when they stop you. And if there is no compliance, then the police can issue a ticket. Just if the police is doing a regular stop and search and decide to ask if there is any passenger communication device, and if do you have what you call it, fire extinguisher, stuff like that. But if say a policeman should see a vehicle run a red light and he stops the vehicle because the vehicle run the red light, he's supposed to issue the man the ticket for running the red light. When he goes ahead to ask him about passenger communication devices and all of these things, then he has gone a little beyond there. But you see, the police is the police, and while the police are supposed to be enforcers of the law, what we find is that the police interprets the law and uses it as they see fit without any challenge from anybody.
So you're saying then,
there lies the dilemma.
You're saying then,
some of the actions of the police out there are illegal, and the police high command knows it. Even when you have 2 police officers at point A, and those 2 police officers pull over 6 vehicles. The other 4 should drive away because there's no way 2 police officers can watch them back and deal with 6 motorists. You understand? So they ought not to have stopped so many vehicles at once.
Okay.
Nobody challenges the things that the police do and the police say. And if a driver should try to ask the police officer a question, then he's considered impertinent and lippy. And the policeman decide, no, all right, since you chat too much, instead of the 1 ticket, now I'll give you 10. This is what happens out there. But it doesn't happen. It happens very rarely to the private motorists. It mostly happens to the PPV operator, and not even to the CMC operators, you know. And when it comes to a lot of these ticketing offenses, they are applicable not just to PPV, but to users, holders of road licenses. Some of the offenses.
All right. So let me. So let me get this straight then. So you're saying that there ought not to be so many tickets issued at one traffic stop for traffic stop a reason, right?
No, it depends on I'm not saying that there ought not to be. What I'm saying, it depends on the nature of the ticket, what is written, what the sign is that the police choose to put on those tickets. Any one stop can generate several tickets. But
I know.
Depends on what is being ticketed for.
Hold on for me, Diane and Sir Clark. Hold on for me. In case you're just joining us, to all our viewers.
The program.
Oh, pardon me?
I want to on the program. Get SCP Mackenzie to answer these questions. He's an expert on the Road Traffic Act.
He won't come on my program. Before you go any further, hold on for me, please. Hold a while, please. Hold on. You're just joining us. We're having this is Make We Talk. You can like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk YouTube channel. We're speaking about the impending lockdown of the sector come Monday. We're speaking to Diane Dennis, Lorraine Finnegan, and Sir Clark, chairman of the Crime Prevention Unit in St. Thomas. We're speaking about a little bit about the Road Traffic Act also, and also for the sector to get a amnesty. And we're saying that if people could just come together within the sector and speak out about the whole amnesty thing, that we should get an amnesty because of what was taken in front of the court by who against Lady Diane Dennis?
Sorry, Jeffrey, I didn't hear that last part of what you asked.
The person who took the government to court for the ticket, and the judge ended up putting an injunction again, and then the former minister took it to Parliament. What was it all about again? Repeat again for us, please.
No, I'm saying when the matter was taken to court by Mr. Housen, he was challenging the fact that he was given, I think it was a $5,000 speeding ticket or something like that. What he was saying is that the ticket was illegal. Okay, the judge recognized that in fact the tickets were illegal, and the judge placed an injunction on the police from issuing any further tickets. I am saying that since this acknowledgement was done, the government recognized the blunder and hastened to correct it. Instead of the operators asking for an amnesty, what I would be asking for is for the government to totally disregard all of those tickets, suck it up. The tickets were illegal to begin with, so why are you telling me that I don't want to amnesty stick up pay something that I was illegally charged for?
So in other words, Diane Dennis, people who are in charge of the president of various taxi groups around the country, they should be lobbying the government by saying, listen to me, you did an illegal act to the public transport sector. Exactly. So what you all should do is just wipe this slate straight.
Exactly, suck it up. Get rid of the tickets. A lot of them are spoiled tickets anyway. Wipe the slate clean. Give the sector another fighting chance.
Especially that there's a new road traffic act coming.
especially in light of the new road traffic are coming. Another thing that is happening, is that the act is being fast tracked. And everybody forget about the public education campaign that needs to take place. There are a lot of things in the act because a lot of people, even some of our radio talk hosts, when they hear them talking, they think that the road traffic act is coming. It is just a panacea for the transport sector, and everything in the act is just about the PPV, man. There's nothing in there for the private plate. There's nothing in there for the green plate. Everything in there is just going to affect the PPV, man. It covers everybody, and there are implications in there for a lot of people, for a lot of things, and things that people who don't even have a driver's license yet need to know. And there is no public education campaign going on. But the act is being fast-tracked to cover a multiplicity of things that is happening on our roads. And one of the things, that we need to understand, the government is doing things in the wrong way. You can't price yourself out of a bad situation, no matter how you try.
Diane.
Before you go any further, Sir Clark, somebody is asking to read the letter that was sent to what the person said about the minister going to have the amnesty. You have the letter there with you?
It's not a letter, it's a text message. It was.
Well, can you read the text message for us, please?
All right, let me find it. But while I'm looking for it, Diane, I understand that per year, I don't remember the dollar figure that is collected from traffic tickets. You know the figure?
No, but it can be easily added under the access to information.
An estimated figure, you know? You know the estimated figure? Do you know an estimated figure?
Are you aware of it? No, I'm not aware of it.
Okay, but all right. What I learned recently that the rookies coming out of graduation from JCF Twickenham Park, they are instructed that they must meet a certain quota for the year, the first year, in terms of traffic ticket, every one of them, no matter where they are placed. And no supervisor can deter them from writing X amount of ticket or Y ticket. If they do that, they are reporting.
No, but even now, it is not advisable for any senior officer to prevent another officer from writing any traffic ticket. It is not done. I mean, people will try, and I mean, remember that was what happened to our dearly beloved James Forbes.
Yeah, man. But what I'm saying is, it's not a case where they're on the traffic stop, The instruction is that per se at a particular stop or a particular ticket,
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that no, it is not something new. You're saying that the new recruits are being told this, but I'm saying to you that even now, no officer can prevent another officer from writing a traffic ticket. It is left to the officer who is writing that ticket whether or not he wants to listen to what you're saying and give the motorist a blind or not. But you can't tell him that I am the senior super, I am the sergeant, and I'm saying this, so you must cease and desist and stand down. He can't do that. He can get into trouble for it.
No, man. What I was saying is that he can't tell them that they're paying too much focus on issuing tickets in a particular case or cases, right? So they are mandated to write X amount of ticket for the year.
But we can't tell the police what to charge their members, what charge to give their members when they are graduating. We really can't dictate that, So while we might not agree with what is being said, there's not much that we can do where that part of it is concerned.
I understand you. But I have an issue with that, though, because then it simply means that they're driven to give tickets and not to just do nothing.
Sometimes when we say we have issues, we can't be having issues with things based on hearsay. If we're going to be having an issue with something, then we must have the concrete evidence. So we can say, yes, this was said here and this was said there.
Mhm.
Can be having an issue based on something that was reported to us
Okay,
without actually hearing the charge.
okay,
So yes,
Diane and
we have been told that, but I mean, we don't hear it for ourselves.
Diane and Sir Clark, members, listeners, and viewers in the chat room on the YouTube channel. Somebody asks, if the tickets are illegal, why should we have to pay? I think this is robbery. It is robbery, but you don't sit down and answer nothing.
But at that, may I say, you know, ask for amnesty if you go pay for illegal ticket. No ask for no amnesty go pay for the ticket. Tell the government say they must find a way to get rid of the tickets. Them
It's
done
not,
spoil already.
it's not so the
Them
system love
illegal.
money.
Why you want time to go pay? Remember that an amnesty does not absolve you of paying the ticket. You know. What it does is prevent you from being further prosecuted during the period of the amnesty. So these illegal tickets that you would have accumulated, because all of these tickets would have been illegal, because these tickets are coming back from 2007 to when, up to when that injunction was granted. And I am saying that instead of you guys asking clamoring for amnesty to go pay the ticket, the government don't admit. They have admitted that the tickets were illegal. So why are you forcing me to go pay for something that was illegal in the first place? Illegally given to me, illegally issued to me by an officer of the state. Why am I now being told that I must go pay for this illegal thing? Eh? Somebody going to Megamart and thief a bottle of wine and carry come and give me. And I am going to go to Megamart tomorrow morning and say to Gassan and say, look here, the friend thief the wine here carry come give me, no one pay for it. No fool, me fool.
But Diane.
But that is what is happening, Jeffrey. That is what the motoring public, that is what the PV operators are doing. The tickets are illegal. Why are we asking the time to go pay it?
But Diane.
They don't need no time to go pay it. They
Diane,
need to be discarded.
In no other modern democracy, in no other modern democracy can this nonsense continue to happen. Only in Jamaica.
Put this happen. And we just need to put it back at them, you know. All of our ministers of transport over the years and the current minister keep speaking to us about how they want a transport system that mirrors that of the first world countries such as Switzerland and England and all of these places. But what they fail to recognize is that in these countries, the law is the law.
And them are proper road. And them are proper road.
You understand? And you couldn't have these illegalities happening and motorists being forced to pay. And we're clamoring for an amnesty to go pay for illegal tickets.
But Diane, isn't there somewhere in the constitution of the land that they are forcing us to pay an illegal thing? Isn't that against some human rights breach there, Diane?
Jeffrey, the JFF office at Grand Spend is open to everybody. And all we need to do, or the sector needs to do, is just a group of operators just need to go out there and put this matter before the JFF and make them deal with it. They have lawyers to deal with it.
So just why is it that these so-called presidents who putting out these false reports about ministers?
The tools that are available at your disposal. That's what the JFF is there for, you know. Everybody talk about the human rights, them and protect gunmen. The gunmen and reach out to them.
So Diane, the question must be asked then. Then why is it that you have the president of Vumvava and the president of Zingbezi, taxi operators, do not call the taxi operator and say, look here, we're going to go down to JFJ or wherever. Because what they're doing to us is an illegal act. Is it that these people who call themselves president, they're a bunch of damn nincompoop?
Jeffrey, that's a question I would not be able to answer. Those presidents of the various associations are competent enough to answer those questions for themselves. But I'm saying that, you know, as leaders, sometimes we have to be mindful of how we lead, and we just need to ask the hard questions that need to be asked, the questions that make us firm, the questions that make us uncomfortable. As leaders, we have to be able to say them sometimes.
There's a question here in the chat room, Diane, that maybe you can answer. So is it possible for all the transport operators can file a lawsuit against the government against illegal tickets? Somebody did already.
Somebody did already, and that matter is coming up. That matter is coming up in court in 2023. And I wouldn't even say if, when that case is won, it will become a class action suit, you know. But it is going to be dragged out for time immemorial. Because the government now go on pay. And when we say government, no matter who in the power, none of them don't want to pay.
Look here, hold on here for me, Diane.
But they're going to find a way.
Diane, hold on for me, please. Hold on. Hold on for me, Diane. The person who is saying in the chat room here, like how they give gunmen amnesty, why the product? Because you people sit on our chat. Don't you hear what happened? Somebody stop talking about amnesty. The gentleman took the government to court for the illegal issuing of tickets, and the person won the case.
You know, one Jeffrey, no, Jeffrey, the case has not been won.
But the case has not been won.
The case has not been tried yet. What happened is that the judge placed an injunction on the police from issuing any more of those tickets. What happened is that because they need the revenue, the government decides, all right, these tickets are illegal because of where they are they're under the Financial Collection of Taxes Act. So okay, we're going to move them one week, and we're going to move them and we're going to put them now in the act where they belong. And so the government has done that. But that doesn't mean that all of those tickets that were issued from 2007 up to that point could not have been illegal. You don't want no time to go pay an illegal ticket. Well, you the government tell me that okay, I will absolve you of these tickets. And that's what we ought to be clamoring for.
Mr. Finnegan, Lorraine Finnegan, you have something to say, sir?
Jeffrey, Mark, you know, there are operators out here right now who, because of these illegal tickets, owe millions of dollars. Where are they going to get the money to pay, even if they get an amnesty? Where are you going to find the money? You're hustling out there running a little taxi, or you're driving a bus for somebody. Where are you going to find these funds to settle these outstanding tickets, these outstanding illegal tickets? Amnesty or no amnesty, at the end of the amnesty, 3/4 of these operators are still going to have these tickets hanging around the neck like a millstone. And they just need to sit down and do the maths.
Mr. Finnegan?
Yeah, I'm here.
You hear what Diane Dennis is saying? What is your views on, because I'm pretty much sure if you're watching the YouTube chat there, people are saying some things in the YouTube chat here where how can they sue the government and so forth. The government was already sued. What you all need to lobby for, as what Diane Dennis is saying, Mr. Finnegan, is for them to wipe the slate clean. No bloody amnesty.
Well, that is one of the discussions we have been having. But knowing the government, we're not sure if we'll get anywhere far with asking them to wipe the slate clean.
You're looking at it the wrong way. All you need, what we need is to get lawyers that knows the act. Get lawyers that knows the act and can challenge the legality. Because Mark, you know, you're not challenging the legality of the tickets again, you know. That challenge has already been acknowledged by the court. Because when the matter went before the court, the judge placed an injunction and said, the judge recognized the error, and the judge said, okay, put a stop order on the police from issuing any tickets. If it was that the government never realized the blunder, that hasty move by them a couple days later to move those fines, those ticketing fines from the Financial Collection of Taxes Act to the current Road Traffic Act. Would not have happened. So it's not a question of if.
With this information that
What
you're
you
sharing,
want now from the government is acknowledgement that this thing happened and we deal with it. Because remember, you know, it is not just the PPV operator who would have gotten an illegal ticket during this period. It's almost every Jamaican motorist who would have been ticketed during that time. All right, some years ago, indulge me please for a minute.
Go ahead.
Some years ago as operators, we had an issue with the Spanish Town police. We were getting tickets in excess of $2,500 and $5,000. That is way back from 2011, 2014. Okay? Those same fines that the police in Spanish Town was giving you a $2,005 ticket for, a policeman in Tree would give you a $500 or $800 ticket. When we went to the police high command with the matter, you know what they said to us? We must bring them proof for the ticket. So we want to know where the ticket book go when it finish. We must bring them proof that this was what was happening. We had to take it to the ministerial level. We had to take it to the Minister of Transport to get some redress. And he had to deal with the matter because he saw the tickets for himself. The same offense was ticketed and priced differently by different cops. But you see, as motorists, we take up the tickets and we just hug them up and we either pay them or we don't pay them, and then they accumulate.
Diane,
and then we ask them how much to go pay.
Diane, I want to ask a question here. How does a police officer say, okay, a Jeffrey Tavares stop at a pedestrian crossing? No, a Jeffrey Tavares passed a pedestrian crossing and somebody wanted to cross. If I'm making any sense. And they stopped me and said, okay, I did not stop to let through the person. If that's an offense, how do they determine to charge me a $5,000 or $3,000?
Because the ticket, that particular fine would have been part of whatever regulation it is. So the police would have a prescribed sheet that has the ticketing offenses, the codes attached to those ticketing offenses.
But me never seen none of them with any Madam Diane.
All I know, the fines attached to those offenses as prescribed by law. So even, all right, there have been instances where police officers have issued PPV operators tickets, $15,000 tickets for no insurance. No insurance under the current Road Traffic Act is not a ticketable offense. It is a summons that you're supposed to get to go to court, and you answer to the charge in court. Now, when you take that ticket to the tax office is unable to collect that $15,000 from you because there's no such code in the system to accommodate the payment. So you have that ticket and you can't pay it. And that becomes an accumulated ticket, a ticket that is what you call a spoiled ticket. And these are some of the tickets that these operators have in them, outstanding tickets that cannot be coded and entered into on the system because the police issued the ticket illegally. No insurance is not no insurance will be a ticketable offense under the new act, but under the present act. I had a client who called me already to say that his driver was getting a ticket from a policeman downtown on Darling Street for no insurance. And I said to him, tell the driver to take it and tell the policeman thanks and have a nice day. And forget about it because that ticket can't pay. It can't pay.
So in other words, Diane. In other words, Diane.
It is not a ticketable offense, Jeffrey.
Hold on a minute, Diane. So in other words, the JCF is sending members of the transport, the police hierarchy out there to just willingly ask, willingly write tickets and put on a feel like put on it and give to the community in public?
Okay, it would seem that at the end of when a policeman uses a ticket book, it would seem to me that those books are not audited. Because if those books were audited, then I'm sure that the police high command would have realized that, wait, we need to do some refresher course, man. This policeman don't know that this is not a ticketable offense. Or this is the wrong code, or this is whatever it is. But there's no check and balances going on, and nobody is calling them into questions for these things.
There's a question in the chat room for you, Diane Dennis. Members of the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. And the question is this: but if the tickets are illegal, why the judge still suspending people's driver's license? If one judge said whatever, are you going for another judge?
No. Marky, Marky, what I'm saying is that you have to challenge the system. So you going to court as a layperson, not going to help. What you need to do is to hire a lawyer who knows what he's defending. Kind of make sense? You hire a family lawyer to defend a traffic matter. So you seek the lawyer with the requisite expertise to deal with the matter for you in the court. So when you engage the services of that lawyer and he goes before the court, then the judge will have to do the honorable thing. But who are you as a little layman to challenge it?
So in other words, what you're saying, Diane, to the members, I think we're losing Diane. Diane, you there?
Yes.
Diane, are you there?
Call is coming in on my phone.
I think what Diane is saying to us, that members of the community in public, the transport personnel, taxi and bus drivers, and who are here on the YouTube channel right now, if you're gonna take the government to court or go to court pertaining to any ticket, get a lawyer who is who knows the Road Traffic Act well. Because if you can get a lawyer who does not damn the Road Traffic Act, then God help you. And you alone can't go in front of the judge go chat because you don't know what you're talking about.
Jeffrey.
Go ahead.
I think we need to balance things a bit. Mr. Finnegan been waiting.
Yes, Mr. Finnegan, go ahead, sir.
And then you ask them to answer the question, and you give her another question and another question. So.
Oh, I do apologize about that. Now, Mr. Finnegan, go ahead, sir. I do apologize to you, sir.
Apology accepted, but I was just about to leave the meeting. The question I want to ask Ms. Dennis, but before I ask her, the information that we have gotten here in regards to the illegal issued ticket between 2005 and 2021, it now gives me reason to have that discussion with the public transportation sector in general, but with the executive of One Voice, to look at challenging this matter now in court, because I've gotten some very, very important information here, or some enlightenment rather, from Ms. Dennis. A question to Ms. Dennis is, prior to 2015, the gas tax was being used for road maintenance and infrastructure purposes. But then in 2015, the then Minister of Finance put on a 7% increase on the gas tax. And the reason he gave was that it was an hedge fund for when the price of gas goes up on the world market. The word that was used then was petroleum. They could use that hedge fund to cushion it for the Jamaican market. Now, we have not been seeing any indication over the last 2 years or 3 years where the gas prices going down to any acceptable level that we could say the hedge fund is being used for it. In a discussion that was held in a Zoom meeting, the question was asked by an investor, and the answer given that the government not going to roll back that tax. So what we did then is ask an individual to get a team together to meet with Minister Valls to discuss one, the hedge fund, that's 7%, because since it has not been used, use it up now and roll back the gas in the interest of the transportation sector. And to meet with Minister Vaz in that regards, and also to discuss with him the future of transportation across the world in regards to technology. Well, person in charge then threw cold water on that, and so that meeting didn't take place. The question I want to ask Ms. Dennis, is there anything we can do from the sector perspective in lobbying for this 7% either to be removed or be used since it was designated as an hedge fund?
I think we have lost Miss Dennis, Mr. Finnegan.
Okay.
But to that question that you're asking, I am not speaking on behalf of Miss Dennis, but I'm just saying this, that I don't think the government will take that off because that's what they're getting, and that's what they collect. How much billion they collect again, Sir Clark?
60, I think.
67 billion last year.
67 billion, Sir Finnegan. So
And they're
I don't
looking
think
60 billion this year. Sir Finnegan.
Yes.
May I crave your indulgence, or may I suggest, I should say, this gas tax issue, and especially the information brought to the fore short while ago, the same ticket issue, the illegal tickets, and my suggestion also in your negotiations with the transport minister and transport authority and the finance minister, and maybe the prime minister by extension, I think you guys should ask that whatever tickets that are deemed legally issued, the tickets that are clearly still outstanding, not the ones that are paid and still in the system, in that kind of category, I think you should ask that the sector be allowed to pay these tickets over a period of time, the original fine cost, not a court issued cost. So in other words, say the ticket was written for $1,500. They pay $1,500, and also with a rider that if there's points to be deducted, that they be not deducted from the person's license. Reason being, let me finish. The reason being, if they do a mass sweep of these tickets right now and force person to pay these tickets or go to court on these tickets, it's gonna, one, overload the court. Two, you're gonna have a massive void of drivers in the system, which would come back to a natural withdrawal of service. Because I heard our case of a man who won 2 buses and him get 75 tickets, and when him say I go quoted them, he lost his license for 2 years plus had to pay the 75 ticket them. So if the government continue on this trend, there's going to be a natural void of available buses and taxis or drivers or all in the system in short order.
So Clark.
Yeah.
I got some information today that JCAL, Juta, and 4 other of those companies are also in fear of the threat that was made by Canute here. Today I got that information from people in the system because we have been speaking to some investors in the western part of the island in regards to the amnesty. And these are people who have fleet of vehicles. And they are telling me that with that pronunciation, even those companies that are in the tourist industry and in contractual carriage are fearful that if this threat is carried out, they may lose some of their drivers.
Because they carry red plate.
No, you are saying now, Mr. Clark, that these tickets that you are suggesting that if we get a meeting with the various ministers, we should bring it to their attention, because if the draconian measures are taken and are implemented, then you're right. We're going to lose drivers within the sector.
Exactly.
And presently, one investor say he has 3 bus park, another one have 2. These are 2 investors that I have spoken to directly on the basis that they don't have any driver. And that is one of the things that the One Voice group is looking at, that if this continue on, 2, the amnesty is not granted, we are going to lose our drivers because they won't be able to operate with those level of outstanding ticket that they have. You mentioned about the demerit points. Well, that is in the request that we are making, that when we go to pay the outstanding ticket, if the amnesty is granted, that no points be taken. You mentioned about the fine, and we are requesting also that the fine be not increased. It remain as it is on the outstanding ticket.
Right. Sir Finnegan and Sir Jeffrey, I don't know who else is here or hearing me. I would imagine that you guys sometime follow on CNN or whatever US media house, and you would hear reports of former President Trump. What is he always doing? He's always going to court on something. And some of his cases that he's filing in court as a lawsuit are, let me play on some words, some finicky matters or finicking matters. Right?
Yeah.
Him go to court for some silly stuff.
Yes, man. That's
some
it.
Him win, some him lose. And I'm saying, I think this is one of the approach this sector needs to take in going forward in a collective manner, the 14 parishes across Jamaica. Instead of just taking the tickets, challenge them in court, challenge them in the form of a lawsuit. Say, listen, you give me this ticket, but it is illegal. You know, when a policeman will give a man 7 ticket and 10 ticket and whatever ticket. And I was telling you a story earlier where this busman drive the bus out of the bus park, go across the road and stop in at the gas station. And the policeman gave him a book and a half a ticket. I was at court the day when the man came to court. And it's because I won my case why everybody got thrown out the day, because the same policeman. But watch it joke now. The policeman is the bus driver brother-in-law, you know? And when the man left Clarendon and come to St. Thomas to come live with him and him, which is his wife, which is the man's sister, right? The man had to close him and feed him because he only had 1 suit of clothes and 1 piece of slippers. And the man just drive out of the bus park, cross the road, and it's a book and a half a ticket. I think that is malicious. I think that's vindictive. And I think those sort of tickets should be stopped issuing. It can't be a man, you stop him for one thing and you give him a million ticket. No, I question that. And I have an issue with that.
So
and that is why some of these drivers have so much tickets. I saw a video today where a man lay out on him floor in him house. The amount of ticket, me couldn't count them.
You look like about 700.
Exactly. I saw a printout for one too. See there? Look at your screen.
Yes.
And I saw a printout for one guy, and the amount of ticket and some of the charges on them is fictitious.
So Clark and so Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What Mr. Clark just mentioned. Well, one of the things Mr. Clark just mentioned is going to be a challenge for us in terms of challenging these tickets in court, because I've been speaking to a number of drivers, and every one of them telling me the same thing. Boss, when you go to court and plead not guilty, it put off, and that can take up to 5 months before it go to trial. And then they mention that the cheapest money they have to get to the lawyer to be present in court is 15,000 on each appearance. And because of that, they just easily plead guilty and pay whatever the money is and forget about it. And the judiciary continue to get away with it.
But Sir Clark and Sir Finnegan, we're being joined by Owen Brown from Roots FM. But what I'm saying here, gentlemen, yes, it is gonna take a time to go in front of the court and it's gonna costly, yes. But at the end of the day, we're putting a stopping to these illegal acts by the state.
You're right. You're right. That's what we need to do, put a stoppage to it.
May I suggest, Sir Finnegan, again, and the rest of panelists, and for those who are listening on YouTube, we'd have to check it out. But I think what they could do is if they're gonna pay it, they can pay it, and I'd rather they use a check and write on the back of the check, maybe under duress you're paying it, or if they go to court, plead guilty with explanation and make sure it's entered in the records, and then go take the ticket or you're paying or that you deem as being illegal or excessive. They take it as a lawsuit because it went through the traffic court, you know. So the next place you need to take it to is a higher court. So now they take it as a lawsuit. That's what I would do.
I think Sir Finnegan, Sir Clark, and Sir Brown, and members, all who are watching us on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. But I think what happened to majority of us in Jamaica, we're afraid. And we believe that we don't have justice because the justice system has failed us. We do have justice. And if a group of us come together, I keep on saying no, if the public transport sector could come together, we'll be a force to reckon for in this country. And if you all come together, pool the funds together, go to no organization, whatever one of organization, and we say, okay, we want to pool some money together. I want to get a damn good lawyer who knows the Road Traffic Act. I guarantee you, it may be dragged out, yes. But Rome never built in one day. Jeffrey. It may be dragged out, but it's time for us to put a stop in to the illegality of what the government is going on within this country.
So Jeffrey, we need to follow this footstep of Mr. Ozing.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Jeffrey and Mr. Finnegan and Owen. Some years ago, I got stopped at a traffic stop for someone speeding. I wasn't speeding. So I was arguing with the police and whatever. And the next one take over and say, see a speed and proceed to write a ticket. I went to court. Everybody said, make me an idiot. Because you can't be speeding. But I wasn't speeding. And I went to court, and when the judge asked me my plea, I said, not guilty. I said, wrongfully accused. So you say not guilty? I said, no, wrongfully accused. And I held my ground. And then the judge said, well, I'm putting not guilty. I said, you said that, not me. I am wrongfully accused. Because at the time, I felt if I said not guilty, it was as if I was a participant to something. You understand me? And they switched to another judge. It's the same thing I went through with them. And when it went to trial, I may defend myself. And I brought evidence and the judge never wanted me to submit it. I said, no, it's the base of my defense. I must submit. But it's because I was talking with somebody that have sense and somebody that have sense and never look a legal background. So I was using certain terminology. So the judge was forced to listen to me. And when I got through the case and started to discredit the speed gun, did you know that a speeding ticket, the officer is supposed to write the serial number, the speed gun on the ticket? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
But look, no, under the Weights and Measures Act of Jamaica, which come under Bureau standard, there is supposed to be a certificate, I think twice a year, for anything that weights and measure. So if you go to the gas station and look at the pump, there's a sticker on there that states that the pump was calibrated twice a year, right? It's the same thing for the speed gun. So who says the speed gun is working? When last was it calibrated? I guarantee you none of them has ever been calibrated.
It's the same way, Sir Finnegan and Sir Clark and Owen. When former SSP Radcliffe Lewis, and I don't give a damn who wants vex with me tonight, was SSP, and he got there and said him not have an operation until the Lord Almighty come and start tear
It
off
was
thin.
stopped.
He did not have anybody there with him, you know. Him alone doing it. So in other words, the person was there who was supposed to be there to test the tint if the tint is legal or not. Wasn't there.
Because they don't challenge anything. They just take it as a pill.
And these and the public transport sector people allow this to continue and continue. The time has come, members of the public transport sector, to stand up. Me alone, I alone, Reverend Finnegan, Sir Clark, now Sir Brown cannot be chatting. You all need to call in on radio programs and talk. When you sit down and talk with the groups, it makes no sense. See it there? The phone line is open for you all to call in and nobody calling in.
Did you know that? Did you know that? Sorry, Sir Finnegan, did you know that you're not supposed to stop a man and give him a seatbelt ticket?
You're supposed to do what?
You're not supposed to stop a car and give him a seatbelt ticket, you know?
Explain that for us, Sir Clark.
All right. The first question was to ask the police, how may I help you? What is the purpose of you stopping me? Him can't say see without seatbelt, you know? He must stop it for something else first. Okay?
Well,
So one of the things you need to establish when a police stop you is to ask certain questions. How may I help you today, officer? And he's supposed to tell you the reason why I'm stopping you. Is it a spot check, or you run a stop sign, or run the light, or you have a broken light or something? He's not supposed to stop you for a seatbelt ticket. When I used to operate my gas station, the taxis used to load in a one corner. And by the time they reach halfway across the property, police stop them in the property and give them seatbelt ticket. And then I reach on government road. And them take it and go pay it.
Let me give you a joke. You see where Clock Tower Plaza is?
Yeah.
I was driving my my Uncle Prado. And the Prado black like midnight. The glass black. I just came down from the States. I remember where I came in from. And I borrowed his vehicle. And the first thing I do, you know, is always put on my seatbelt. And I came out, you know. As I came out of Clock Tower there, to go down to where the halfway tree clock is.
Mm-hmm.
The police stopped me and said to me, say, "Me must pull." So I pull over. So I wind my window down. Him never see me put on, I didn't have on a seatbelt. I just put on the seatbelt. I said, "I beg your pardon?" So he say, you want my driver's license? I give him my driver's license and everything. He's gonna write me a ticket. I said, "For what?" I was wearing a seatbelt. I said, "How can you see in this vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
The glass is black. You can't see nothing. And you're telling me I was wearing a seatbelt?" Anyway, he took the ticket. He took the driver's license and the papers from me. Go down to where his friends are. Down there, lay, chatting. Not writing anything, you know. So I come out of the car. And I said, "Are you going to write me the ticket?" "Come back in the car, go sit down. I don't say nothing to him, you know. And my temper start boiling. And I don't care who want to vex with me tonight. I grab my driver's license in front of me, see? And I drop into the damn van. And then I move off. He run in front of the van. The fact of the matter is, you're going to give me a ticket. Give me the damn ticket and stop talk. These officers are out there. They can't see in your vehicle. Yet they're giving a ticket saying you wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So what they do to these poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers is because they know that they do not know the road traffic act, not road traffic law or whatever. They continue infringing on their fundamental rights.
Easy pickings.
And the time has come for bus and taxi drivers to stand up, come together with the One Love group.
One voice
group rather. And get a lawyer put on the case. It can't continue. Yes, we're not calling for amnesty. What Diana said a while ago is that the amnesty was called for is a total wipe of it because the damn things are illegal. And the judge don't know it's illegal, you know, but they continue doing it. Because what, nobody not talking about it.
Sir Jeffrey, you had asked me to read something.
Go ahead and read it, sir.
I'm gonna omit some names, okay? Because we're not promoting certain things. Anyhow, be advised that the Prime Minister and the National Security Minister and Transport Minister held a discussion a short while ago. The Transport Minister just advised a party to tell you that the statement by Mr. Hare was out of context. He further advised that the month's amnesty requested by such group will get cabinet approval on Monday. And the person said, I'm a bit concerned about certain postings on the platform, but we are doing everything now to ensure that an amnesty is granted to the sector. There are those who will not accept this report, and I do understand, sign so and so. You know, I read this and I laughed because why did not the minister make a public statement where everybody could hear? You know, I think this is just a smoke screen to appease the unrest in the sector. But I'm not a part of the transport system. But I implore
Sir
the
Clark,
parties involved. Yeah.
we have a call online.
Yeah.
But before I go to the call online, whosoever wrote that thing is a damn liar. There is absolutely no way can the Prime Minister of Jamaica, along with the Minister of Transport and the Minister of
National Security,
just take just take a decision like that? Listen to me. Caller, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Yeah, Mr. Jeffrey. Night time.
Good night, sir.
As a ex-coaster driver, I run me for run the bus work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you the honest truth. Yeah, it's crazy out there. You say, listening to the program, you start to realize there's a whole heap of illegal tickets. Would you believe that in a one day we get 15 tickets? I mean, even before 12 o'clock one morning, I get 15 tickets from police. Every time them stop is 3 tickets.
3 tickets for what?
Every time them stop is 3 tickets. Eh?
3 tickets for what?
When them stop you, not ensuring passenger safety, seatbelt, no badge. Every time them stop you, at least one say, find something to give him ticket for. And when him not find nothing, any other ticket offense. And that kill with any other ticket offense. The amount of them we have right now.
So how much ticket you have there now with you?
Right now, I'm supposed to the last when we go get the printout, I must say 101.
101 ticket?
Yeah.
Now how much the JUTC have? The JUTC. They have no seat belt. And they what the word for use now? Yes. When the passengers are going there, they are no seat belt for their safety.
No, and not JUTC, you know.
Me know, I mean ask the question about JUTC, sir.
Oh, JUTC said I think I seat belt for the bus, man, for the driver. And the driver not having seat belt, them kill him with ticket too. And if you look at him, they see the extinguisher and I bus them give him extinguisher ticket too.
A JUTC driver?
Yes, man. If the company if the driver not insure, say the extinguisher in the bus before he drive out of the depot and police stop him. The police will find something to give him ticket for. Take it from me, as I tell you.
So you have
because
101 ticket.
To carry in. Yeah.
So hold on there. Hello. Can route here or can route here or can man here? You know, so the system now what though? The people are gonna pay for the ticket. And the system not working. Yeah. Mr. Gary McKenzie, the system not working no, sir. Wanna taxi for the poor papa bus and taxi driver them for?
And that's exactly what them do because I spoke to one of the new graduates that just come on the road. And tell him say him have a quota, I ticket him have to send out at daytime. Him have to carry in at daytime. So anything for get ticket, him have to do it in order to carry him quota. Never ask him how much of the quota, but him tell him say all him get quota.
Why you think the other day?
Hold on for me, hold on for me, hold on. I think I lost him. I lost him. Hold on for me, please. Hold on for me. I lost him. I lost him. Can you call back for me again, caller, please? I do apologize. We lost you a while ago. Can you call back, please? Yes, go ahead, Mr. Clark.
Why you think the other day a gentleman put on a group say the policeman that is directing traffic around the parliamentary building went into a truck and took out him book and gave a man a ticket and then go hide back the book? Why you think he might have to do that? He's a rookie, you know? He might have to meet the quota. So even although he was assigned to a particular post that he shouldn't have abandoned, he had to go in and I think it was a food shop, the man said, go take out the ticket book and go and ticket the person, you know. So the parliamentarians were at risk for him to meet his quota, you know. You realize that?
So Finnegan?
Yeah, on the matter of the letter that Sir Clark just read, I have made 4 postings on the One Voice platform between 7:30 a.m. this morning and 1 p.m. And in all of the posting, those 5 postings, I said to the platform and in the executive that there is a telephone conversation going on with government officials. And at the end of that telephone conversation, whenever it ends, we are going to be getting an announcement. And I'm putting the platform on alert and I'm putting the executive on alert that any announcement made by any group coming from any government official that the One Voice group is not party to, we are not going to accept it. By evening came, we saw that letter come out. So immediately, I don't mean like 2 minutes after, you know, within the same minute I saw the letter, I called the executive and I said to them that I need to make a statement. But how we operate, so Jeffrey and so Clark, is that even though I am the director of communication, I don't run and make a statement without the consensus of the executive. So I called the executive and I said, how do we take this? My position is we're not accepting it. We're going on with the withdrawal of service. And we all voted unanimously there that we're not accepting that letter. So I went on the platform of our 800 members and let them know that wherever the letter come from is not associated with us. We don't take instruction from them and we don't give them instruction. The point I'm trying to make with members of the panel, that letter is not a deterrent for what we plan to do on Monday. We are still in high gear. The withdrawal of service is effective Monday, November 14th. As early as 4 a.m., we will be on the street in our numbers. So just to let the wider public know, the withdrawal of service is still on.
Sir Finnegan.
Before we go any further, we have a call online, Sir Clark, but go ahead.
Me?
Yes, go ahead. Quick, because we have a call online.
All right, so Finnegan, I just want to be sure. You say withdrawal of service. What does your withdrawal of service comprise of? What is the modus operandi coming Monday?
All right, let so Jeffrey take the call and then we discuss that. Please.
Okay. Good night again, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Yes, sir, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. You got cut off a while ago. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry about that.
Right. Yeah, man. I was saying, after listening, I started to realize is that, all right, I was speaking with one of the new recruits the other day, right? That came out. Because I realized that all of them equipped with traffic, with ticket book. So I asked him if him have another division, why them have to send him out on the street. It's the first place them send them and them have a quota, them have to carry him. So if them can't find something ticket for them, just write any other offense, ticketable offense. So My word. Once them stop you, you'll get a ticket. Any other ticketable offense. And I'm not explaining to you what is the other ticketable offense. Then just write it because them have to write a ticket and carry it to carry it in. And them have to make up.
No, but
The
it
court
is the
before them
sole
go in.
duty of the police officer who stop you, to tell you why you're writing the ticket for,
Of course it is.
So because I know some of the taxi drivers that have no sense. You know one bex, with me tonight, I don't care.
But it's the truth.
And because I know so
And
love to say,
really,
boss, come and buy a lunch, no boss, get the sit on the boss. You know no police, no friend.
yeah.
Members of the public
And
transport sector, you know no police is friend. The time has come, you must learn to read the Road Traffic Act. You can't send woman go to school. Jeffrey, behave yourself tonight. You must go back to school too.
It's a reality. Of course, it's the reality of the situation, Sir Jeffrey. It's the reality of the situation. If you look on the amount, all right, when you check the Road Traffic Act, 3/4 of the tickets them in the act refer to red plate, PPV drivers. You understand? Everything in it, PPV drivers. Once they run a steering or a red plate, you're guaranteed to get one ticket.
Hello? Yes, Sir Finnegan. Sir Clark, go ahead. I think I have Diane Dennis calling us back to you.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
so Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, to answer your question now, the plan so far is we having full support from, well, we have full support in the KMTR and some other parishes. There are only 3 parishes that the risk fund is not in a positive way. We have personnel out there, but the report that they are giving is that their members are not interested because they claim that they don't have outstanding ticket. They have other issues that they would want to deal with. So the plan that we have come Monday morning is that there are some of our operators that will not be driving their vehicle. They will be walking to wherever they will be gathering, while others will be driving their vehicles and park in an area that will not be causing any obstruction of traffic. One area we are certain of is Portmore because they are on top of the game. They have identified a large empty lot that they will be parking on. The other areas of Kingston, some will be parking in the stand that they are currently using, and some will be parking in other areas where they have designated that they will not be obstructing traffic. We had a member of our executive at a meeting yesterday morning with a lawyer to give us some advice. And one of the advice we got from the lawyer is that if we congregate in an area and the police comes and asks us to move, we must not resist, just move to another area. But they can't stop us from our withdrawal of service. But depend on the area that we are, they might be saying that we are blocking the movement of traffic or the movement of pedestrian traffic or causing obstruction to people business. So if an officer come and say move, we just move. We have coordinators in all of the parishes, and in the KMTR, the coordinators will be in every areas that public transportation commute in. So for instance, the red plate that travel from Halfway Tree to downtown Kingston, we have zone manager, zone coordinator, and zone supervisor that will be manning those areas. And we have these threat of zone personnel in every area that the strike will be, the withdrawal rather. Don't want to use the word strike.
Breaking news. Sorry, Mr. Finnegan, sorry. This is Make We Talk Breaking News. We do apologize to you about that, Mr. Finnegan. I didn't mean to do that to you at all. I apologize to you.
Okay.
But since it comes on, the news just coming into us that CNN is projecting, in case you want to know, that the Democrats will keep control of the United States Senate. There have been some midterm election. The Democrats will keep control of the United States Senate. That is news just coming into us. This is Make We Talk breaking news.
In other words, the result that we had gotten first, what has changed?
I am not seeing it as yet, but what I'm seeing now that the Democrats get 50 seats and the Republicans get 49.
We need 51 for a clearer window.
We need a 51 for a clearer win, yes.
The U.S. House is 204 Democrat, 211 for Republican. 218 is needed.
So that is what we're getting now, that the Democrats, that is President Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, will keep the Senate, while the House of Representatives will go to the Republicans.
Not necessarily, it's not finalizing. The House is not finalizing.
Okay.
They need two.
Right. So for Monday now, the protests will continue until we hear from government officials. If we hear nothing at the end of the day on Monday, we will be meeting at 5 p.m. to do an assessment and an evaluation of the day activity and to authorize the withdrawal back into Tuesday. The group is very enthusiastic and energized to the extent that they have been advising their colleagues work as hard as they can Saturday and Sunday, because if we have to go for the entire week, we'll be going. We're getting some report that there are some boss that is asking that their vehicle be parked at their home, and other person has been advising those drivers, carry the car to the boss, because if you don't participate in this one of a lifetime opportunity that we have, then at the end of the day, you won't be able to work and the boss won't be able to employ you. So we have been imploring our members that it is a peaceful withdrawal, no burning of tire, no blocking of road, no cutting down of trees, and do not obstruct people from going about their lawful business. And the zone personnel are empowered by the instruction of the executive to ensure that all our persons that are involved in the withdrawal of service do it as best as possible within the confine of the law. So that is what we have planned for Monday. We will be meeting, just before you come in, the executive will be meeting at an undisclosed location tomorrow to put the final planning in place. So far, we have been meeting in Google Meet, but tomorrow we'll be meeting face to face. Yes, sir, Clark.
All right, so Finnegan, I understand that you have been labeled as the one done of the one voice, and that you are a dictator. Is that so? Is there any truth to that?
If it is being said, it has not been brought to my attention as yet, but I must tell you that members of the team has been saying repeatedly today that it is the first transport group they have repeatedly heard, we and us. They are accustomed of hearing me and I.
Oh, okay.
And they have been saying it out on the platform.
You know, to be truthful, I heard it, you being labeled that way. And, I told the person, said, no, I don't get that. But I have had some interactions with some of your people, and they never said that to me, but you're being labeled that way. But I beg to differ. based on my interaction.
Well,
You know?
in spite of the position that I hold within the organization, I ensure that every issue that comes up, I immediately either call the executive on conference call or call them in a Google Meet for their advice and decision taken, and then I make a statement. Now, the fact that I am the director of communication, there's no reason to be calling the executive on some matters that I consider to be simple. But in the interest of democracy, I believe that before I make statement or take decision on some issues, I should get the consensus of the executive. There are some matters that we have been discussing, and they are saying, Mr. Finnegan, now it is in your hand to publicize what is to be publicized. And I said to them repeatedly, I will only make a statement on the directive, on the consensus of the executive, because executive matters are private and confidential until the executive says these are what must go to the public.
Okay.
So under that circumstances that I've just explained, it would be very unfair for anyone to label me as a one-done person. In addition to that, when this organization started, I was nowhere involved in it. I was called after their second meeting, and these meetings were telephone meetings. I was called after their second meeting. I did not attend that one, and on the third meeting, I attended the meeting. And from that meeting, this is where the organization rise to. I must let the panel know that the persons who organized this group, 3 persons, they were looking at trying to attract 100 members. No, I said to them today 3 times, we need to dedicate some more time in putting in the plans for the withdrawal of service, because the organization has now grown past the executive.
Because make a butt in here, Mr. Finnegan, if you don't mind. You know why?
Yes, sir.
Because there's no one man done. And there's nobody affiliated. Sorry. Oh Lord, sorry.
True word.
There's nobody affiliated.
All time people say true word.
There is nobody affiliated with any political party or trying to feather their nest or trying to sup up to the minister. What the organization need is a leader who is neutral from any political party. The interest of the president of any organization with transport sector must be with the people of the transport sector, not with any political party.
Sir Jeffrey and Sir Finnegan, as Mr. Finnegan was mentioned that the target for the group was 100. I text somebody and they sent back and said to me that it's at 908. And then they text back within you sneezing to say, no, it's at 912. It's growing by the minute.
You know, these, 1 second, Sir Jeffrey, these guys work right through the night last night, adding people to the platform, you know.
My God.
I finished our executive meeting last night at 9:35. And immediately after I came out of the meeting, I addressed the platform. And then now I ensure that so Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
The messages comes in on the platform like in excess of 100 message every 5 minutes.
Wow.
And I take pain to go through them because I don't want anyone to be putting out their concern and their suggestion and then it is not identified and noted. So I spent time doing it. And last night going through them, I found out that people were on the platform right up until 3 o'clock, adding in other people. And when I wake this morning, yesterday morning and this morning, I woke up with a taxi operator praying 2 powerful prayer for the organization at 4 and 4:30 in the morning. And then throughout the day today, the addition of members was just coming in like every 30 minutes and less. Now, one member says before we get into this meeting that we are having at 7 o'clock, that they are getting to the 1,000 mark tonight. That's what they said before 7 o'clock this evening. And it looked like they are so serious with the report now that we're getting from Sir Clark. And just to let the panel know, just preempting a little of the plan. You know, since the One Voice group start to take up momentum, there are taxi operators and there are investors within the One Voice group that has already started to make financial pledges towards a fund to help the members with outstanding ticket. I mean, operators, you know, somebody that driving for another person, and others who have a one car that they are driving of themselves. And so, Mr. Finnegan, if we get this amnesty, we're not leaving our members on their own. And it is very encouraging. The Portmore team are saying to us that they have never seen anything like this. There's a message that come off the major platforms, Sir Clark. I heard it in the executive group. And the person is saying that, big man, no elder, from I hear you're speaking today, I realize that you're a genuine person. You mean the sector well. Well, let me tell you something now, brother. Don't back down on us, because I am not coming around again to be led by any failure. Now, when you listen to it, you know, it sounds like the last part of it is a threat. I don't pay mind to it. I pay mind to the first part. The man said, don't let him down.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that.
I heard a voice note that was sent to me from a particular profession, a person in a particular profession that also operate taxis. And what the person was saying, man, my head spin. I was shocked. And the person is coordinating certain things to support the movement for this week.
Don't say what he's coordinating.
No, I will never do that.
But I will never do that. And he mentioned the areas that his coordination is being done.
Exactly. I heard it. I heard it. But Mr. Finnegan, I just want some clarity on something. And it may seem like I'm picking at you, but I think I need
This is Make We Talk breaking news. Gentlemen, sorry to butt in. We have some breaking news coming into us. A police constable remained in hospital after being shot by gunmen a short while ago.
Oh, not again.
That's a police constable remained in hospital after being shot by gunmen a short while ago. Our crime situation in this country is out of whack. Go ahead, Sir Clark.
Yes, I don't want to be deemed that I'm picking on you, but I need to be clear. Yeah. I know in time past they've had some protests that the sector, persons from the sector have conducted, and it got out of hand, or certain things went above a certain measure. What do you guys have in place to prevent persons from acting out in a negative manner? And what consequences will there be, if there would be any?
All right, what we have in place is our zone managers, zone coordinators, and zone supervisors. And they have been instructed, not all of them, because they will be getting their final instruction tomorrow. But the final instruction to them is, if a situation is getting out of control beyond their ability to control it, immediately inform the members of the executive so that we can have those set of people. One, try to be restrained whatever they are doing, and two is have the police take them into custody. We have made it clear on our platform that any unruly behavior, any operation tomorrow on Monday outside of the confine of the law will not be supported. not be condoned and not be defended by the One Voice group. We have been in negotiation with 3 lawyers. One have already give consent to be on board. The other 2 we are still negotiating with them. But the point is that we are depending on our zone coordinators, because these are people that have been chosen by their respective area. These are people that, to some extent, the operators in those areas have a level of respect for them and look up to them. So we are expecting them to calm them as best as possible. We are aware of the fact that there is going to be a small package of people that is going to come out with unruly behavior, because we have been hearing it on the platform. But one of the things that encourages us is that when one come out and say they are going to be doing this, which is outside of the confine of the law, 10, 15, 20 more come down and say, no, sir, you're not going to be allowed to do that. We're going out there as civilized people. In fact, our members has been saying that the country look down as us, as the scum of the earth, and we are going to be giving them a surprise Monday. And that is the consensus that is coming from our operators. We're going out there in full black Monday. We are going to go out there as civilized people, and we're going to be going out there on our best behavior. So apart from we from the executive giving the directive, the members on the platform has been telling us that this is the way they're going out there in a very civilized way.
All right, Sir Finnegan, let me go a little bit deeper. And this is based on history. My great-grandfather suffered that fate where it was not his intent when they went to the courthouse in Mark Bay to act in a violent manner. It was somebody that was drunk, threw a stone, and it triggered a reaction from the British military where they fired upon the crowd. So I am saying to you, we have had time pass where them take key out of them car where choose to work, them brake man key, or them cut man tire, or them blocking man with them car. Is that something that will be a part of Monday, or it is not? It won't be a feature of One Voice.
Well, I'll answer this way. I can't say from here now that it won't happen. What I can tell you is that the platform is energized to the extent that those who mention things like this, because we have people sending in voice note that they need chainsaw, they need to start stockpile tires. And by the time one person said that, you have like 20, 30 voice note coming in. No, we're not condoning that. And if this is what you're coming out to do, don't even be a part of it. Stay your yard. I remember one person tell one individual, stay home and sweep up your yard, man. Don't come out here, because this is not a part of what we are doing. And the popular sentiment that we have been getting is that we're going out there to prove to the public of this country that they are wrong, where they are treating us as the worst set of people. And the word that they continue to use is that we're going out there as civilized citizens. Just before we get into our meeting, there was a discussion on the platform that started a little bit after 4. And right up until 5 minutes to 8, it was on the platform. And that discussion include more than 100 persons. And it was on the basis of people think that taxi operators are not educated. And they said that there was one person that make a statement that this is the only country they know that any donks can get a license to operate a taxi. And I mean, it was a lively discussion that I had to jump in it, because when I was in Ocherias, looking about 2 fleet of vehicles for some people, I myself was surprised at some of the people who come to me with up to 11 subjects for a car to drive. Some of them have level 2 training in the hotel industry, but because of some discrimination, they left the hotel and say, well, they have their family, so they drive a car, but they are graduate from high school with subjects.
Yes, because if I may jump in, Sir Finnegan,
Yes.
Sir Clark, we want to hear from Owen Brown of Roots FM. Owen, unmute your mic. But before Owen unmute his mic, there's a lot of university students who are running taxi in Sir Finnegan. A lot of them.
I know. I met them.
Jeffrey.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to forget two quick things I just want to say to Mr. Finnegan. So Owen, just hold 1 second, please. Sir Finnegan, you know that there's a possibility that persons may not be in favor of the one voice movement and may come out trying to make mischief to create a negative impact on the one voice. Do you have anything in place for such a scenario, or
to counteract them?
Yeah, or how can persons know one voice different from an imposter?
It is going to be difficult to know them different, but what I can rest assured on is that wherever this imposter comes from, he is going to be meeting up with strong defense. In fact, there was one person that come on the platform that is insisting that any taxi working Monday, he is going to be destroying both the taxi and the car, the car and the driver. And one of the platformers said, well, he is going to be working with his picker stick, and anybody try to destroy anybody vehicle out there, they're going to have to deal with him. In other words, he's saying that he's not going to be condoning anybody out there going to stop a man and try to destroy his car. One mentioned about porch and tire. Another man said, when your hand go under it, it's not going to come up back. The point I'm trying to make is that we have more persons that is going out there to defend and protect our reputation, our civilization, civilness, where the withdrawal is concerned, that it is going to be almost impossible for any thugs to come out there to disrupt it, to set a bad name on our side, because we are being very careful of giving the police any chance to arrest any of our protesters.
All right, one last point.
Hold on for me. If you're just joining us on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel, remember to please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are speaking about the impending shutdown of the transport sector come Monday morning. And they're calling for a ticket amnesty or a total wipe off of the ticketings, whosoever have ticket outstanding. So if you're just joining us, like, share, and subscribe. We don't have enough time here to leave on this program tonight. We're just gonna have a little short wrap up now.
Yeah, so let me just before I yield to Owen, let me just finish one quick point. Sir Finnegan, I'm looking at One Voice. Is a movement started Monday. Is there anything that would make you recognized by the transport authority or the minister, or is there anything entrenched to make that to meet that requirement then? Because they may just use that.
I will answer it in brief. We have all the directors in place already to have the organization registered with the register company. We have the funds already in place for the registration, and we have an office already in place for the organization. So that is as much as I can tell you now.
And the transport authority will accept it, because the transport authority realize that they're not gonna have any president for life, like other chairman for life for the People's National Party. They don't have no president for life. Okay, Sir Clark?
Yeah, man, I yield to Owen now. Yes, okay. Sir Owen.
So Owen Brown, if you're not too busy, sir, unmute your mic. What is your views on what is going on here, sir? You're the chief cook and buckle washer for Roots 96.1 FM, along with Dudley Thompson.
Yes, good evening to you and your panel, Sir Finnegan, Sir Marcel, Sir Clark, bless up. Was listening, man, and was quite interesting, conversation. I was particularly interested in what the operator that came on was saying, that in one day you would get 15 tickets. And I'm saying, why are we in a state where, all right, say the police have two different roadblocks are in a certain area. If you get a ticket from one here, well, when I reach the other one, I can say, look here, me get ticket for XYZ, and it's all right. And him say, all right, go ahead. Why is it that him know the next set of police have to find something else to put on that? 'Cause to some extent, it seems as if they're saying, well, it don't look like that set of police never say everything. Let me add mine to it. And I'm saying that is unfair. That is beyond I can't even find a word, right? Because the thing is, it cannot be
Damn
where
wickedness.
they're targeting the operators who are needed. Because the thing is, I know that the public are, well, let me say, the body the groups or organization or JUTC that through the government they offer public transportation. They cannot fulfill the demand of the traveling public. So why is it that they're to some extent hampering and targeting the operators who are actually assisting the traveling public? And I'm saying it's really unfair. And I don't know how they're going to look on it, but they have to look on how it is that they're treating with these operators who are assisting the JUTC and other transport bodies in getting persons to and from work or school or wherever it is that they're going. And so for the amnesty, definitely I'm for it. But let's see what will happen on Monday, hearing the details from Sir Finnegan as to the groups who are involved, and how it is that they're ready and raring to go for Monday. So we're hoping that there will be some level of response from the authorities, whether the transport minister and our prime minister and others in the transportation sector, to really, see what they can do about this level of targeting of public passenger operators. Also, the information coming from Sir Canute here from the ITA, that's kind of encouraging to say, well, they will definitely look on an extension of the December 1 date. Quite encouraging, but still, to some extent, it was a threat, and a lot of operators never really like it. I never really like it either, right? But at least we're hearing some extent a walk back on the level of threat that was made. So we're hoping that Monday, we will definitely get a response from the authorities with the situation that is facing the public transportation sector.
Thank you very much, Owen Brown from Roots 96.1 FM. This is where we're going to wrap up now. We're going to have our final say from Sir Lorraine Finnegan. The man who they say him a one man done. He's not done. Lorraine Finnegan is not done.
Yes. And I think I probably want to be, to be a part of the one voice group.
Yes, we want to be a part of it as a media group, Mr. Finnegan.
Yes.
All right, we will put that in place as daylight in the morning.
Yes, sir.
All right, so, in my wrap up, yeah, go ahead, so Jeffrey.
No man, go ahead, wrap up, man, because the class has one man done. You know not done. You're not a part of the Klansman gang. Now the gang of 5 of the Labour Party.
Because I have to go speak to the platform tonight, and then I have to be putting the zone names into proper documentation to meet with my executive tomorrow. I want to close in saying that the propaganda that started this morning that we are taking war to the government, again, I want to assure the country that there is no plan whatsoever. And the one voice group, we distance ourselves from any such statement and any such propaganda that has been sent out there. We are a peaceful set of citizens of this country, and we have been putting everything in place from the organizational level to ensure that the thing is run in a orderly and civilized way as best as possible in the confine of the law. I don't know of any other demonstration that has taken place, whether by the ordinary citizen or by the public transportation sector, where in every location you have seen a people that will be in the position of zone managers, zone coordinators, and zone supervisors to ensure that each area that these zones personnel are responsible for is run in an orderly and peaceful way. We will be going full force with the withdrawal of service. The letter that is being publicized, that word coming from the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security and the Minister of Transportation, is something that we are not paying any attention to. We has to do what we think is best for the preservation of the work, the job, the employment of our operators, to preserve the investment of our investor, and to ensure that the wheel that move the economy, that move the industry, the public transportation sector, is being protected at all costs. In closing, just want to thank you, Mr. Tavares, for allowing us the space on your program to include the Zoom and also the YouTube channel. God bless you. We ask that you wish us all the best. Sir Clark, when you go to pray tonight, please send up a special prayer for the policeman that we just got the report that he is in the hospital, as it is something that we are not really happy and comfortable about. But we'll be praying up his strength and praying for a very safe recovery. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sir Finnegan. Sir Clark, your final words, sir, before we go.
Yes, Sir Jeffrey, I thank you for accommodating this impromptu discussion. I saw it fitting, and you know, I commend the One Voice group for their swift and their swift action in putting a group like this together, and I've gained so much ground in such a short period of time. I really commend them for that. And you know, I was concerned about certain things, but listen to Sir Finnegan, Reverend Finnegan for that matter, I feel much more at ease with what they plan to do and the things that they have in place. I just hope that persons stick to their plan. I don't support blocking of roads. I don't support violence. I don't support intimidation either. I don't support anything negative that can affect persons going about their lawful business. So let me say that. But I see the transport sector as one key element in the operation of this country, is that of an essential service. I remember a famous cop that is now part of the Kingston management system for policing in Kingston. When he was in St. Thomas, his instruction to his officers was that to leave the taxi man and the robot them alone, because there are not enough of them to carry the public. So he moved them away from ticketing unless it was something that really warranted a ticket. So his focus was not on traffic, but was on crime. And I wish the government would move in that direction. I wish the Commissioner of Police, the Minister of National Security would move in that direction. I wish the Transport Minister would stand up for the sector that he's supposed to be representing. It's not only to manage, but to represent the transport sector. I wish the minister or successive ministers would come and see the transport sector as an essential service and treat it like one. That when them catch a little cold, him come and give them little chicken soup and and 2 Panadol to ease them cough and them sniffles, instead of just ignore them and to help to oppress them. I really wish they would treat the transport sector and see it as a sector that is key. You know, when I speak of transport sector, I'm not just talking about red plate. I'm talking about green plate. I'm talking about the truck man, the trailer man, the bus man, the taxi man, whatever. I wish they would treat them with high regards, because if every truck man withdraw their service, we're dead hungry. You realize that? If every taxi man decides to listen, me now come out of my bed when me go to my bed and go carry the pregnant mother or the somebody that is feeling ill in the night, we don't realize how essential they are. And I really think they need to refocus and change how they deal with the transportation sector. And I think they should remove the gas tax from the transport sector, if not all or some, and it would offset some of the expenditure. So in wrapping up, sir, I thank everyone for participating tonight. I thank for those who are watching on YouTube. And make I say this, underneath, you subscribe to the Make We Talk show, because it's the only show I hear on radio consistently that defends the transport sector. You used to have some bus, Sir Jeffrey, or you still have some? Because some bus and taxi, because you really defend the sector. So I think in gratitude, I think that they should subscribe to your channel, sir. For whatever, like and subscribe. I really think they should, because you have been very accommodative. Thank each and everyone for having me and for listening to me and my madness. But God bless you.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere yet, though. Just mute your mic. I want to say thanks to everyone for coming on. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. But before I go, I have this to say. Members of the transport sector in Jamaica and the sound of my voice, like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I will be the voice for you. I will be the voice for you all. Whether on radio, on Roots 6.1 FM, or on my YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. And I have this to say to you all. Come together. I am so proud of you all that the One Voice group could come together and have such a group that, the members of the group is growing minute by minute, hour by hour. Thank you for coming together. And I am pretty much sure that this group now have no one president for life, no dictator, no Dan, who believe that, is their thing. It's either their way or the highway. And I must say, I must lift my hat to Reverend Finnegan, Sir Clark, Bruce Miller, my good friend Steve Hessin. Steve, I'm praying that you get better, my brother. God in His mercy will see you through your difficult times that you're going through. Other members of the transport sector, I pray God richest blessing on all of you. And I pray you all come together. Let the transport sector be the voice for Jamaica. Let the transport sector lead the change that this country seeks. Let the transport sector lead the charge for changes in this country. Because Jamaica needs changes, and change must come. And I say to you all out there, the time has come for Jamaica to stand up, to be the country that we are supposed to be. Because we came here by labor pain, not by aeroplane, like the Chinese. We Jamaicans came to this country on this piece of rock by labor pain, not by aeroplane. May God bless you. May God bless this little country of ours. And this is a song I'm going to leave with you all.
Light a candle, sing a song key, and find your way back home. All you sinners and the prodigal sons.
Yes, sir.
and return to the flock.
I want big up One Life and One Love, Wildlife and One Love.
Yeah, wherever they are, they have been working all day coordinating the ground.
If you repent of your sins today,
Hey!
don't you know the road back home is rocky, and it is dark when you're on your own. But if you heed the master's voice right now, you will find your way back home. So come on and find your way back home right now. Find your way back home. Light a candle, sing a song, key, and find your
Transport operators, find your way back home to One Love, One Voice.
we try take over. No sanky, no sing so. If you want to test the ruler, no sanky, no sing so. If you don't confess to your sins, no sanky, no sing so. If you come to try to run.